Yes, Loon, you can ask me your question, please. Loon, can you hear me?
Morning, Radha.
Good morning, Neeraj.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, please ask me your question.
It's just a simple question. Yesterday we talked about personality and interest,
Yes,
and I was thinking quite a bit after the meeting that we had yesterday.
yes.
So before all our friends come in, can you please elaborate on the two and simple points?
Yes, I'm going to be giving you a high level detail about both of them. But you have any specific question, you please let me know so that I'll answer your question. But I'm going to today start with personality as a dimension in detail. Okay?
All right, all right. We'll wait for the class. Just okay.
Sure, sure. So let's ping in the group for others to join. Ganesh is yet to join. So Loon, we will be using the same link to join every day. Okay?
Yes, I understand that. When I tried to sign in, it simply said that this link was created for yesterday. So
Correct.
I was a bit confused for some time.
Actually,
It's
yes,
okay.
that's right too. When I create a virtual room, it specifies a particular date. Okay. And that can be used any number of times. That virtual room can be every time we want to meet, we can connect. All right. But the thing is, the username and the password and the link has been given to you. Okay. Every time I sign in, okay, I log in only, you will be able to enter into the virtual room. And after I admit, I was about to actually join. Meanwhile, you messaged. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Because I have to log in. I'm the host, right? Once the host is logging in only, you people will be able to enter into the virtual room. Till then, it will say it has been programmed for a specific date. Okay.
All right, all right.
So good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning.
So I'm going to be beginning today on our core areas related to the psychometric learning, right? So I'll be beginning with the different theories based on which the questions have been actually abstracted. I'll give you the names of the theories, okay? And the detailed training material related to these theories will be given to you on or before Thursday, all right?
All right.
I will be getting into every dimensions independently in a detailed way. Today's objective is to cover and complete personality. Sure, when we are discussing into the topics, I'm sure you might be more enthusiastically asking to know more things, right? Not to worry, it will come and we'll try to make certain explanations crisp and clear to the point so that we are able to have adequate time to cover the entire topics. Okay.
Yeah.
So yesterday's session, it went with a lot of personal elaborations. Let's actually, keep them aside, and when we have a time in the last day, we can actually include it. So first, let's get into the concepts. Okay. So
Yeah.
the model what we are recommending on the comprehensive career planning assessment includes a 5-dimensional areas. Okay. The 5 dimensions, which are personality, interest, values, learning style, along with skills and abilities. I'll be covering detailed elements on this. So first of all, these questions are actually sourced from where? For personality, in this career guidance industry, there are 3 major renowned theories. One is Carl Jung 8 personality types theory. Second is MBTI type indicators, which is 16 types of personality. And then we also have Big 5. Okay. So these are the theories. I will be going into elaboration about all these theories in a short while. Okay. Next, for the career interest, we'll be touching upon John Holland's model, which is famously known as RIASEC model. This is about the interest profiling, using the interest profile of a candidate, how we do a career mapping. Next is for the learning style, we would be applying Neil Fleming's WARC theory. Okay. For the EQ and EI, we'll be applying questions from Goleman's 5-element theory. So these are the important theories from which our question bank for carrying out a psychometric assessment is being carried out. Has been abstracted. Okay. For the skill and ability, since we have an age group from grade 2nd onwards, that is from 6 years onwards, between 2nd to 7th grade, they fall in an age group of 6 to 12 years. In this age, we can't give them a detailed career planning because we can't understand their personality or interest or other behavioral factors. They take the shape of the container, that is the environment or the family who is raising those children. In this stage, we can only gauge their multiple intelligence level of their skills and abilities. We will test their numerical ability, but we don't test their logical ability. We test their verbal ability to communicate, but we don't test their clerical and administrative skills. We test their spatial and visualization abilities. That means whatever their mind can imagine it, which is not really in front of them. How much they are able to express, that is spatial and visualization. We don't test them on their leadership and decision making, but we test them on their social skills and mechanical skills. So based on the numerical, verbal, spatial and visualization, social and mechanical skills, we'll be able to connect with what kind of ancillary skill development they can do, not the main area of their career. So that the parents will be always looking to engage the child in any of the hobbies. I think we will agree with the fact a child who is engaged with the hobbies will be able to identify their career interest easily. Because the engagement in the hobbies which excites them also is possible to supernaturally excite them on their career interest identifications. They go in line, right? Sometimes you can find parents wanting to be into a sports, but because they could not get that opportunity, even in 5 or 4 years, they go and put them into the sports academies or even into any kind of performing arts related, instrumental musics. So these are all ancillary skills, but when it is actually developed for a longer time, you can see that becomes a mainstream career for them. Right. So arts and sports are not anyway less, because there are people who are celebrities coming from these areas, but they cannot actually develop all the skills at the same point of time. Okay, so this is actually, a multiple intelligence test we carry out for this segment of people. Okay, now these questions have been abstracted from the theory of Howard Gardner. So he is testing multiple intelligence. You can find in international schools, the multiple intelligence test is carried out in this age band. There'll be an in-house school counselor deployed, and they will be finding, you can find in the same classroom, since they offer a skill-based education, one child will be going for sports. One child will be going for design arts. Another child will be going for fine arts. Or it can be for performing arts or language arts. They actually are trying to abstract that multiple intelligence. In this stage, we don't test their personality or interest. When is the stage we test their personality or interest? After 13 years, when they are in 8th grade. Because the elective subjects they choose demand that. Okay, so the psychometric questions, what we apply for a school student from 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12, and graduates still freshers till they are employed. The questions related to personality, interest, values, learning style are the same. Because we don't want them to be accessible to keep on changing their minds on the emotional factors. So where are the differentiators shown? Only on the skill and ability. So for a student in 8, 9 and 10, we have one set of question bank. A student in 11, we know the conventional practice has 5 groups: a maths, physics, chemistry, and computer science, or maths, physics, chemistry, and biology, or physics, chemistry, and biology without maths, or it can be commerce with business maths, not the core maths in science. And also we have humanities, arts and language. So basis the group, we test their numerical abilities, logical abilities, verbal ability, clerical and administrative, spatial and visualization ability. Then we also check their leadership and decision making, social skills and mechanical skills. All these cannot be uniformly required for everyone. And it is not ideal also to judge the ability of a fish by climbing tree. A fish's ability should be judged by its ability to swim. And we cannot also line up a horse, a giraffe, a goat, a lion, a tortoise, a snail, and say all of you have the same assessment, correct? So the question bank will be different of a school student in 8, 9, 10 as one set, and another 5 sets for 11 and 12 basis the group they have taken. Even when they are graduates currently pursuing graduation, could be in UG or PG or freshers, in this stage also, what we do is the psychometric questions are same, but the skill and ability questions will be posed on them based on the elective chosen in their 11 and 12. Right? Either maths in 12th, or biology in 12th, or commerce in 12th, or humanities in 12th. So that they would have decided, you could have found a student who is PCMB. When they moved to graduation, had they chosen a BE or BTech, or had they chosen BSc in Maths, BSc in Statistics, BSc in Physics, BSc in Electronics, or BSc in IT or Computer Science, they will be pursuing the same domain in their post-graduation. So when they take an assessment, it should be max in 12th. But if the student has taken BSc in Nursing, BSc in Biochemistry or Zoology or Botany, on Environmental Science, then they should be choosing Biology in 12th. A student who is Science and Maths or Commerce and Maths can also go to Accounting and Finance. What they are doing, if they have joined BCom after pure science group, or a science and maths group in 11 and 12, they should not be choosing maths. Then they will get all the other careers which are irrelevant for the child to take. A BCom student would like to go for MCom, correct, or a business administration. So they need to be guided. So we have separate questions, at least 4 sets of questions for the graduates and freshers category. Along with these 5, we also ask them questions on EQ. When it comes for candidates who are working professionals, maybe in early, mid, or senior, the 6 dimensions applied all will be completely different. The personality, interest, values, learning style, emotional quotient, and skill and ability. That's a one set of separate questions. These are all the comprehensive career planning assessments. In order to do a career planning or career guidance, we use this. We also have certain situational judgment tests. I'll come to it later. I'll not confuse you now. Now, those tests are not based on the regular psychometric factors. They are all situational judgment tests where there are certain standalone questions asked. So based on that, the objective of the counseling is completely different. In total, you have an opportunity to get oriented about 30 plus assessments which we offer in our tech class. They're all for different needs. Okay, I'm just giving you an overview. Once I cover theory by theory and give you the complete methodology, you will get a holistic idea. Okay, so these are the names of the theories from which the questions have been abstracted. Somebody is going to question you about the reliability of this assessment. These have been proven theories from 19th century, and we are going to be applying those scientific methodologies. I hope if it's clear, I would appreciate a thumbs up.
It's very much clear for me.
Great. So I hope it's for Loon, Namrata, Neeraj, and even Yugandhar.
Yes,
Any
sir.
questions? Yes. So before I proceed, we have another one new face to our session today. Khalid Raza is here. Okay. He has listened to our yesterday's recordings and he's here since today. Hi, Khalid. Good morning. Welcome
Hi.
aboard.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So you can meet Ganesh Gopinath. He's from Guided Minds Inc. Okay. And we have Neeraj Sharma. He's from Meerut.
Yesterday I watched the video, so I saw everyone.
Yeah, you have heard everyone.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm formally
We have heard everyone, Khaled, but we have not heard you. So
Correct.
let's hear about you.
Yes.
We have Yugandhar and Namrata Dubey also. So
Yes.
just take less than 2 minutes to introduce yourself so that we can quickly get into the active
Sure.
session. Sure.
Thank
Please
you
go
so
ahead.
much for me. Myself, Mohammad Khalid Raza. Actually, I'm in the nursing field. I'm doing job here in Dubai as now.
Hmm.
And since long, I also face the same thing because I don't have the pathway what I do. So I do read my 5 year after 12. So I did BA and then I go to the nursing, and after that I did 2 year BEd. That's why I think I should do something that I can help out other guys, and that's why I'm here and searching on the internet all the things. So I got the Edu milestone at that time. I search all other things like I dream career and mind that like most of the things is in market as now. So I think the Edu milestone, since long I'm here, I connected with the since Edu milestone. So last year I connected with the Edu milestone and I try to start my course like that, but I don't have the time that time, and as now also I don't have time because I have night shift. So just now I finished my night shift and come to the directly to the session.
But I wish you don't sleep off, right?
I will sleep after the session.
Okay. During the session, it should not be a lullaby, right?
No. I
You.
take just coffee and other things, so I can be
Yeah.
more aware.
Good. Anyway, nice and welcome aboard, Khalid. So, Neeraj, if Khalid is giving his number in the chat, can you please also add him to the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, I'm giving. Can I tell?
Yeah, Khalid. you-
Just hold on, Khaled. I was about to ask who is this seventh person now.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, come
Okay.
on. Yeah, Khalid, can you give me
You
your number?
chat your number in the, you
No,
put
give
your
me your number in chat. Right, that's okay.
He can pick up and add you to the WhatsApp group.
Sure.
Okay, fine. So let me actually begin the session with our first dimension, career personality in career analysis as a dimension. So what is a personality? A nature of a person. When we are going to be going forward discussing about the behavioral patterns of a person, we will not touch upon any of their personal life. I'm going to be only end-to-end talking to you about their work-life behavior. Do not confuse yourself with their personal life behavior. Okay. So we are going to be discussing about of an individual about their nature at workplace. For this, we are going to be, using Carl Jung model of theory, because Carl Jung is known as the father of personality theories at work, career personality theory, and also Myers and Briggs theory. These two theories we are going to actually discuss about. But before that, why do we need to know the personality type of an individual? If we know their workplace behavior, we'll be able to recommend them a compatible work environment for them. Because they actually sense their high level suitability. When they find they are suitable, you can find that they are very satisfied. Satisfied people will be actually, working for a greater success also, because their suitability is a strength for personality, is a strength for an individual. And that too, when they know that their personality, and if they find that it is ideal at the workplace, they always speak about it as a strength. They never feel inhibited. They never feel shy. Those who claim that I'm shy, or they're, wanting to hold them back without, coming forward, is because they are connected to an environment which is irrelevant to their behavior. So they can actually, people knowing their personality and attaching to that environment, see a greater success. So how do we test that personality of an individual? Let this be a school student, a graduate, or working professional. Right? We'll be asking them questions based on Carl Jung and MBTI. Who is Carl Jung? Carl Jung is known as the father of career personality theory. He lived back in 19th century. During 1859, he propounded this theory and said that there are 8 types of personality where he can connect to different 8 types of work natures, which were evolving in his period in 19th century. Each of the personality type was actually showing a suitability to either business, marketing, and sales, or science and technology, or science and biology, or sports, or arts, or public safety and security and accounts. Whatever the careers evolved in that time, at that time, he was connecting the personality as a behavior of a person at work. We all know that after 20th century, during early 20th century, world faced an industrial revolution. Some careers which were actually evolving turned obsolete. Many new age careers came up after the industrial development. During when many psychological school of thoughts were trying to remodel what Carl Jung proposed, because Carl Jung model was so very, very appropriate, they couldn't reject, but they wanted a remodeling to validate it according to the new age career which propped up at that time. One such school of thought was a mother and daughter from America by name Myers and Briggs. They both validated the model of Carl Jung. Okay, so what we are going to do is, we are going to use these 2 theories and help ourselves to understand the career personality of an individual at work. Both the theories help us understanding the work-life personality of an individual under 4 important factors. They carried out a factor analysis. Okay. So what are those 4 factors? First, we will understand. And the subvariants under each factor, we will successively understand. First, to begin with, I'm going to start about the factor number 1. I'm beginning my annotation. All of you, please, I would appreciate to make notes of it. Okay. So that many keywords I might be, sharing, which may have to become your language going forward. All right. So the factor number 1, where from an individual, a candidate as an individual, is sourcing, learning, acquiring knowledge, and maintaining energy from. Okay, whatever I told, I'm writing. Wave from an individual is sourcing, learning, acquiring knowledge, and maintaining energy from. If this is the first question, if Carl Jung is trying to understand okay, we get to see that there are two kinds of behavior. One is extrovert, another is introvert. Each factor behaves like a dichotomy. All right. So the first factor is about where from an individual is sourcing, learning, acquiring knowledge, and maintaining energy levels from. So they are possible to source as an extrovert or an introvert. In the dominance of scale, which is high, is picked up as their key characteristic or a key behavioral trait. Okay, when you're trying to test this, an individual's response can be, while extrovert is dominant, introvert can be absent, or the vice versa. Introvert is dominant, extrovert can be absent. The second probability is when extrovert is dominant, introvert can be available in a very little proportion. Not completely absent. It can be in a very little proportion, but however, extrovert is considered to be dominant and recommending them careers related to extrovert. Or the vice versa. Introvert is dominant, a little bit of extrovert can be there, but we will recommend them more careers related to introvert. This is a second behavioral type. The third probability is, you can see that they are adaptable to both the traits. They are not resistive to both. It might be extrovert dominant, but introvert is also available in them. They are adaptable to an introvert behavior. But that doesn't say that they both are equal. One factor will be dominant, while the other factor is adaptable to change. This is what we call it as ambivert. All right. So, since every factor behaves like a dichotomy, the proportion of the variance under each dichotomy can be completely present or completely absent, or it can be in a mixed ratio. The one which is dominant is considered as their dominant personality trait. After learning and acquiring knowledge and maintaining energy levels, next they have to get into the working, start their processing of work. To process their work, they need input, they need information. As a person, how do they collect those information required to process their work? This we can actually call as a second factor. What kind of inputs are gathered in order to process the work? For this factor, the person again exhibits like a dichotomous behavior, either dominant by sensing or intuiting. So collecting inputs can be either sensing or intuitive in order to process the work. This is the second factor. What's the third factor? After learning, acquiring knowledge, collecting input and working, here comes a time for taking decision. How does decision making happen at work? When we are trying to ask this information from a candidate, they're possible to take decision either by thinking or feeling. Okay, again, when thinking is dominant, feeling can be absent, or feeling is dominant, thinking can be absent. While thinking is dominant, feeling can be in little proportion, or the vice versa, or they both are possible to be, adaptable. An ambivert nature is possible between extrovert and introvert, sensing and intuiting, thinking and feeling also. Carlin gave the first three factors. One of the contribution about Myers-Briggs was introducing the fourth factor. The fourth factor was, how does an individual carry themselves at workplace? This is the fourth factor. This was actually introduced by Myers-Briggs. Here they stated that the two type of behavior includes judging and perceiving. It's how a person is carrying themselves at workplace. So if you are going to evaluate a person's personality type, if you know the four factors from them, and under each factor, which trait is dominant from them, you can identify their personality type. 4 factors and 8 variants. Each variant, you can see it is denoted with an alphabet in red. Extrovert is symbolized with E, introvert with I, sensing with S, intuitive with N, because here I is already there for introvert. Intuitive is denoted with N. Thinking T, feeling F, judging J, and perceiving P. So what is the second contribution that Myers-Briggs did? Using these 4 factors and 8 variants of behavioral traits, they permutated and combinated the dominant trait. For example, on a person whom you are assessing and administering this test, they are possible to be extrovert dominant, sensing dominant, thinking dominant, and judging dominant. So what will be their personality type? And extrovert, sensing, thinking, judging. So what?
ESTJ?
Extrovert, sensing, thinking, judging. So Myers-Briggs actually coded it as ESTJ.
Yep.
Or an introvert, sensing, thinking, judging as ISTJ. Or they can be ENTJ or INTJ. Then ESFJ and ISFJ, or ENFJ and INFJ. Or they can be ESTP or ISTP, ENTP or INTP, ESFP or ISFP, ENFP or INFP. So this way, under 4 important factors, there are 2 variants identifying a permutation and combination. Totally, the 16 types of personality was coded like this. And they actually patented this code. Therefore, anybody who were using this model, they started to claim royalty. Okay? This is a story of MBTI. Clear to all?
Yep.
Now, we need to break it down. Understand what is extrovert, what is introvert, as per the psychological model. so that you get a better clarity how to relate to the work nature. Agreed? I hope everybody is clear till now. Anyone unclear? You have any question? Ask me on these 4 factors now. Everyone is good? I can see
Yes.
Lou is actually okay. Khalid, Namrata, Neeraj, you can.
No questions. I think it's clear.
It's clear. Brilliant. Now I'm going to clear the board. If you want, you take a screenshot. Or if you want to take notes also is fine.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes. Yes.
For the first 3 things, I mean, extraversion, introversion, sensing, intuition, thinking and feeling okay. So the last one is right. They're right. Judging, organized, and perceiving spontaneous.
Correct.
Yes. Can you elaborate what
I
exactly?
will elaborate. No, I'm going to do that only next.
Okay, done, ma'am.
I told no that I will be breaking up each element. Correct?
Okay, done, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now I will switch to the next slide. The next slide is elaborating about the first factor, where from an individual is learning, acquiring knowledge and maintaining their energy levels. I'm sure each one of you must be associated with young children, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now these young children who are school-going children, I think nobody is a teacher here, correct? But some way you're associated with the students. But have you found, Loon is actually at a college level, correct?
It is actually higher secondary.
High secondary, perfect. Then you will be a right person. Have you seen in your classes some children who are so restless to sit in a place? If you ask them to sit in a place, they think that it's a punishment to them, correct?
Yes, definitely.
You can't make them sit in a place. And you can see they'll keep, moving here and there and keep associating or talking to somebody, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when they are not able to produce their results, we can see that others, tell them that such a talkative person you are, correct? You are such an extrovert, right? When you find somebody talking to others, a normal perception is because start calling them as extroverts, right? Yes or no? A general opinion, correct?
Yes.
But you know what? The fact, if somebody is actually talking and you tell them you are a talkative person, they'll stop talking. You can see I'm talking, right? If you tell me that I'm a talkative person, I'll stop talking because I'm not an extrovert to be a talkative person. Clear? I'm doing my job.
Mm-hmm.
And if you call me a talkative person, then I'll think that what I'm talking is not liked by you, is not interesting to you, or it is not relevant to you. So I'll stop talking. So talking is about communication. We'll have to come out of that misconception. Talking people need not be only extroverts. Clear? What Carl Jung is saying is, who is an extrovert? An extrovert is an outspoken person. A person who is ready to act, who chooses to act rather than thinking. Because when they think, they have to use their mind. They are not keen in using their mind. Rather, they choose to interact with others and develop any kind of discussion with them. They want to be among people and associate with many people and discuss with them because they get a lot of ideas through discussion. They believe that when they discuss with others, there's a huge level of learning comes to them. They get to know about many things. They acquire knowledge. Such people, when you put them alone, you can find that their energy levels are dropping down. They go restless. When they don't find people around them, they go restless. Why? Because their greatest belief and comfort is associating with many people and developing discussion and learning through the discussion. You see, for such people, a huge level of learning comes from others outside. Rather, they are actually known as outside in learners. In order to acquire learning and knowledge from outside, they don't mind even those people are unknown to them. They can be strangers. They can quickly, develop relationship between unknown people. They easily associate and because, they have that drive of learning. They know that if I apply my mind, I'll be alone. I don't choose to be alone. I want to be among people, associating with many people. They don't choose to use their mind. They want to use others' mind. So they interact with others. On the whole, an extrovert is an outspoken person. They keep associating with many people in order to learn from them. They don't mind if it is whatever the number of the population they'll have to deal with, whether they know them or they don't know them. They can easily develop relationship with them. They are very approachable and they can also easily approach others. And through discussion with many people, they get a lot of ideas. Most of their learning, we observe that it happens from outside. They are outside in learners. This is what an extrovert is being characterized by Carl Jung. Anything wrong?
No, it's
You
not.
can also find sometimes to a school or to a new environment, the parents escort the children. Come and say, my child is actually very shy and inhibitive. They won't talk to anybody. He's such an introvert or she's such an introvert. They think that introvert are shy people, which is actually the cutthroat wrong interpretation. Who is an introvert? Carl Jung says, as an introvert, I'm a deep thinker and I'm a great listener. Because whenever I want to learn, I'm observing, correct? As an extrovert, my observations are focused externally, but as an introvert, my observations are focused internally. How? When I'm deep thinking or listening, I am applying my own mind, correct? During application of my mind, if I am among people, won't I get easily distracted? In order to avoid distraction, in order to enhance focus and concentration, I choose for a private time or a space. Right? So, all my learnings and focus are internally applied. Then how will I learn if I don't interact? As an introvert, I have 3 key modes of learning. 1, asking questions to myself. Do I know this? Have I studied this? And I keep asking to my own mind, and my mind is doing a data mining. It is stored as a science or a maths or a knowledge inside my mind. And I'm trying to pick up information from there. A learning mostly happens internally through a data processing in my mind. Whatever I've learned, I'm able to recall. In case I have not come across that area, the second option I choose is to go and do a dissertation. I do a citation either physically in a library or in a virtual computers, correct? I will want a private space. There I don't have any distraction. Library is another place where it is a pin drop silence, where I'm able to focus and actually research and understand. Even there I want a privacy. This is the second mode. And the third mode, if it mandates and imparting with another person's interaction, I choose to go for a one-on-one interaction. I avoid group discussion because again, discussing in group, I can get distracted. A one-on-one relationship is chosen by me. As a person, since it is my own mind applied, in order to observe focus and concentration, all my learnings are internally focused. So I'm an inside out learner as an introvert. For me, concentration is very, very critical. Will be unable to get distracted. If I get distracted, I lose my energy levels. My energy levels are up when I'm able to focus. These are the characteristics of an introvert. If I don't talk to someone, I need not be called as an introvert. Talking is actually a skill set. It is about the communication. Communication is a skill set that has got no connection with the nature of it. This is what Carl Jung is saying. An extrovert uses others' mind, an introvert uses their own mind. Extrovert's energy is focused outside, associating with many people, while introverts' focus is towards inside, where they are able to concentrate and observe. Extroverts get a lot of ideas through discussion. Introverts get a lot of learning through focusing internally. Right? So extroverts are outside in learners. Introverts are inside out learners.
Excuse me, Radha ma'am. I need 5 minutes for my baby. I just
Okay.
need 5 minutes.
You can go and come back. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
You can text and go. No problem. Okay. All right. Okay. Is it clear to everyone? Any kind of a gap in understanding what the characteristic is defined?
It's pretty clear.
All right. So can each of you give me at least 3 examples for extrovert and introvert if in case a candidate approaches with that particular nature? So can we begin with Gopinath? Sorry, Ganesh. I'm calling you Gopinath always. Ganesh. Ganesh, can you actually give me some 3 examples which can fit for an extrovert? 3 where introvert is dominant.
Okay. I mean, examples in the sense,
Careers. See, a candidate is coming to who is extrovert in nature. What kind of careers would you actually recommend him? Give me 3 options. It can be an occupation or a profile, or it could be a career path or a career field. Give me your thought. 3 for extrovert and 3 for introvert. Others can brainstorm and keep it, in mute so that your opportunity will come that time you can say.
all right. Now, when it comes to extroversion, so it's basically all about engaging with people. That's what I think.
Basically,
And-
learning.
Yeah, learning. It comes
Learning is
through
outside
engaging with
sourced
people.
or inside sourced. That is what is the main critical point.
All right.
Mm.
In this case, I would say careers. Okay, let me put forward 3 careers. One, I would say it's into human resources,
Correct.
and the other one is into training and development,
Okay.
and the third one is sales.
Okay. Perfect. Then introvert.
For an introvert, could be like they can be in administration,
Okay.
finance,
Okay.
and research and development.
Okay. Research and development in sense, what kind of research?
Clinical research.
Okay, perfect. Now, extrovert, whatever you stated is perfectly correct. Like, HR is actually a branch of business management, correct?
Right.
So one of the branches of business management. Under business management, one of the branch is training and development, correct?
Yes.
So on the whole, HR requires to be associating with multiple people, as you rightly said.
Yes.
Association from many people and getting to learn about their wants from outside, correct?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Any branch of business management will be only extrovert. Finance management is also a branch of business management. Understood?
Yes.
There they are not introverts, they are only extroverts. Understood?
In finance.
Finance management. Because you said finance people are introverts, correct?
Okay,
When it
maybe
comes to
then
finance
I-
management.
yeah.
Ah.
I mean, I probably should have mentioned accounting.
Correct. There you are. And accounting management is not actually an extrovert, but
Right.
right? Because finance, accounting and finance, because you can see a banker. People could be, a person who is from banking or non-banking finance. Right? They
Right.
have to source the detail about the fundraising or lending funds, everything. The credit information is sourced from outside. All right, it's a business.
Right.
When it comes for accountant, chartered accountant, cost accountant, all these people are introverts because they computer max related to it, correct?
Exactly.
Max is been tuned to their mind, correct?
Right.
All right. So secondly, the sales is perfectly fine. So coming under the perspective of business, sales, marketing, everybody has to be only extroverts. Leaving them alone, they'll go turn restless. They require or they demand to be associating with outside world because the consumer's buying behavior has to necessitate them to go to the market and understand from the consumer point of view whether they're willing to buy it or not. Correct?
Right.
Perfectly fine. So you quoted HR, training, and also sales, where you can attach every branches of business management, sales and marketing. And you quoted an administrative person is actually an introvert. Then how will they associate with the different people in the administration? Administration includes multiple stakeholding, yes or no?
Correct. But I believe, as in, like, when it comes to administration, more than associating with people, it's all about them taking very critical decisions for
That
which.
is not a factor that we are discussing. That is taking decision is the third factor. Now we are only considering where from they are learning and where they are
All
associating.
right.
Got it?
Yeah, I get it.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is actually getting into the precision area. Thinking here is deep thinking here is not to learn from inside. Then we will get into an assumption about the stakeholders, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
All right. Yeah. Right.
Okay. And the other two careers you said, one was
Accounting.
administration, accounting, finance, I think I corrected. Which was the other one? A scientific researcher.
Research and development.
Research and design or research and development, whatever it is, they got to focus.
Yeah.
Science is an area where they have to be connecting with their own brain, correct?
Yes.
Mind. Their mind works at lot. Concentration is highly required. Perfectly fine. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Can we work on Neeraj now?
Yes.
Some 3 careers.
So
I
I
know
think
you can flood in careers, but give some opportunity for others also. Okay?
so I think rightly said, training and HR, these are the examples of extrovert, and sales people, marketing people, people in marketing, they are the extroverts because they rely on outside sources to get their energy and get their information from.
Give me some other examples now, please.
So I was saying the one example is marketing, which I'm talking about.
No, apart from marketing, sales, whatever we have discussed, there are so many careers, 3,000 occupations, 12,000 job profiles.
So
150.
there can be a practicing doctor who's an extrovert.
I have a question. If let us
Yes.
consider you are a practicing doctor.
Yes.
When I come to you as a
Yes.
patient,
Yes.
will you do a group discussion with me or will you do
No.
a one-on-one?
I will do one-on-one and
Okay.
I will be
Second
asking you
question.
questions.
Second
So I am
question.
relying on you for my information.
Correct. You're relying on me for my information.
Yes.
Can I declare to you that I am having dengue? Give me medicine for dengue.
No.
What will you do? You will only
I will
listen
ask
to
you
symptoms.
questions. I will ask you questions and then analyze what is the symptoms, and then I
Exactly.
will be there.
Exactly. When you're asking from me, you're asking my symptoms only, right?
Yes.
I cannot declare. I don't have the rights to declare I have dengue or malaria, correct?
Yes.
I am only allowed to tell you or express my symptoms. And
Yes.
those symptoms, how do you analyze? Using the medical data studied in your MBBS. to
Yes, I will
process.
be utilizing my brain then.
Then you are an introvert or extrovert.
In introvert.
Because a little before I told that, doctor, I heard you saying that doctor is an extrovert. That's why I asked.
Okay, I am sorry. I mean to say.
Don't feel
introvert.
sorry. No, we are only discussing. Have it as a
No,
fun.
no, I was putting it as an introvert because they rely on one person and they use their brain.
Perfect.
Same is an architect who is an architect or
Introvert. Architect is introvert. Okay.
yes, introvert, and engineer who is into manufacturing or who is into construction.
Yeah.
is also an
Anybody who
introvert.
is connected with science and maths will have to be introvert in
Yes.
general. Correct? So that's
Yes, in
fine.
general.
Give me example for extrovert.
Extrovert is teacher.
Can a science or a maths teacher not be an introvert?
No, teacher. I'm talking about overall teaching. No, teacher
I am
has to be
teaching
an
about
extrovert.
I am speaking about a particular teacher. A
Oh,
student who is doing
any
an
teacher,
architecture will
any
have to be-
teacher.
Ah.
In my understanding, any teacher would have to be an extrovert.
Not like that. They are not learning from students. Understood? Their source
Yes.
of learning is not from the students. And
Right.
in a class, if you are my teacher, you
Yes.
don't, when I ask you a question, you don't say, wait, Radha, I will go out and ask with somebody.
But,
if it was anything related to business and trading,
Okay.
it's possible to gather information from outside.
No, that's okay. We are talking about gather information and energy source.
Correct.
But
That's
the
right.
energy comes from the students.
That is only, a partial. But the knowledge comes from where?
How do you put
Learning comes from
when it
where?
is when it is partial, then how do you put it into one?
That's what
That's
I'm
my
saying.
question.
What is dominant? I never said that. There can be, did I say that there are three probabilities? One is extrovert being dominant or introvert being dominant, while the other
Yes.
variant is absent.
Yes.
There can be a little proportion. There can be also an adaptable proportion. But for a science and maths teacher, what is dominantly required? That is my question.
That is introvert.
That's all.
Yes.
If it is anything related to history, it is more about, study from outside, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So if you can see,
You can get this from this. I think I did understand this, that you cannot categorize a complete profession into
nothing
one
like
part.
that. You can categorize. But only thing is, you have to be specific about the job role. A teacher
Right.
is an occupation.
Hmm.
But the profiling is that a science or a maths teacher, the ideal compatibility is being an introvert.
Okay.
Clear? If it
Got
is
it.
any kind of a commerce or, language teacher, they are possible to be more extrovert.
Yes.
Okay, how they source their learning, either from inside or outside, from the stored knowledge or from the acquired knowledge. Clear?
Right.
Okay, and the same also, if you can see in human service, there is psychology, right? When you take for counseling, the counseling can be done by a psychologist also, and or a mentor and a coach also. Clear? The mentorship is in a person which can come from a learning acquired from outside. The people who are rich in particular domain for about 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, it's outsourced, correct? Knowledge with which they'll be able to guide people. That is mentoring and coaching. But a person who is in a very young age, yesterday I think you were saying you must be some 23, 24 to Ugandhar. Now if he is wanting to do the mentorship, more than the experience, he would go for a scientific approach. The early age people would love when they have a age for becoming a mentor or a coach or a counselor, do counseling. At that time, where will they source the knowledge? They'll have to approach science as a subject. That is psychology. Am I clear?
Yep.
Because doctors deal with the physical health and the psychologists deal with the mental health.
Mental health.
Correct? So both in case, it's a science applied. One is actually a natural science, another is an applied science. Clear? So
Sure.
a counselor can be introvert or even extrovert. When
Yes.
are they introvert? When they have a psychological science as an approach.
Yes.
All right. Now,
Yes.
that is the same way research, if it is actually a social research or a market research or a business research, they are more extroverted, correct?
Has to be an extrovert.
Correct. When it is a scientific research, like what Ganesh said, it is actually
Introvert. Yes.
introvert, not introvert, introvert.
Yeah.
Okay. If you can see in human service, anthropology, there is a career. What is anthropology? Historians studying about the people who settled in the different parts of the world, correct? So it is a social research, knowing about the culture, knowing about their lifestyle, practices. Okay, all these fact findings are actually done after a social research, interacting with many people from that society. So it is an extrovert research, understood? But you get an object. It can be a weapon or a coin. It doesn't have an engraving in it. Who are using it? When you're applying a research on it, to find out who were using, you know in which ages the historical information are there, who were reigning. But you need to do an age test on. So the age test is a scientific test on their physical and chemical properties. If it is a human anatomy or animal anatomy, then it is also a biology. So it's a scientific research. Anthropology is an social research, where archaeology is a scientific research. Am I clear on this?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
archaeology requires to be introvert. Anthropology requires to be an extrovert. Clear?
Yep.
Better?
Basically, Radha ma'am, you are telling that what type of personality is suitable for what type of profession. This is the basically thing that you are just.
Correct.
Yep.
So over to you, Yugandhar. Can you give me some examples other than what Ganesh and Neeraj have shared?
Yes, ma'am. I can tell extrovert, I can tell you that public speaker, anchor, commentator.
Perfect. Then
And the introvert, we can say content writer, story writer, and interior designer.
story writer and content writers who are creative writers,
Yes.
who are thinking from their mind, authors, correct?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
But a copywriter, editor are all extroverts.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear?
Okay, copywriter, editor. Yes, yes.
They're all extroverts. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. In the content writer point of view only, I just
Correct.
I-
See, content writing can be done by a vlogger also, right?
okay. Yes.
But a vlogger is an extrovert because it's one of the digital marketing strategy. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Creative writing or storytelling is something where my own mind works at large.
Yes, yes.
All right.
Yes.
So people who connect with science, maths, engineering, science and biology, and also anything connected with technology or careers related to accounting, they're all introverts. A financial analyst is introvert, but a finance management person is more an extrovert. Clear?
Ma'am, I have a doubt. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, you said that yes, financial manager and extrovert. But here my question is, personality and profession, both are different, right?
Profession is actually a work nature.
Yes,
For
ma'am.
that work nature, what kind of an individual nature is going to be compatible? That's what we are studying, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. I mean, what
That's
my
all.
question is, yes. Can I have a question? I mean,
Yeah.
after this session. For suppose, if a person is financial person, so for suppose, if I'm an
The
HR,
financial role. You're asking that whether there is a role called financial role.
no,
right?
no, no. For
Is it-
suppose, I'm HR. Okay, I'm HR. So as a job point of view, even though I have a introvert characters, I can be an HR, right?
You can be in HR, but there is only one role in HR, which will actually one or two roles in HR, where an introvert is actually, compatible.
Okay.
One is
Okay.
people who are into payroll.
Okay. Yes. Got
It's
it.
a kind of an accounting you're doing.
Mm.
Second is a new age career called HR analyst,
Okay, honest.
right?
Okay, I have something here.
Yeah, Ganesh.
I'm an introvert,
Hmm.
but I've been into HR consulting, which basically is like dealing with people.
Correct.
So how is that compatible?
See, the point is, where are you learning from? With reference to HR, you have to be ideally an extrovert. Your source of information should be coming from outside. But if you are an
Yes.
introvert, always you will be thinking only from your mind. And you have
Right.
set an expectation where there could be, you know, a lot of gap. That was the important point which I also faced. It took a
Mhm.
longer time for me to understand from a learning and development point of view when I was designing, you know, learning contents. I am a high level introvert. Okay. I'm not even adaptable to extrovert. People may think that I'm an extrovert because I'm talking. No. When it comes for learning, I lock myself. And every
Okay.
time I take my training, there'll be nobody at my place. Right? This is my
Okay.
nature. I'm more comfortable. I'm able to focus. For me, during these 3 hours, you people are actually, you know, God for me. Right? If suddenly 1 or 2 days my daughter is there, if she distracts me, I'll just burn her with my eyes. This is my nature. When I'm not comfortable of doing something, I don't want. Correct?
Right.
You can recall, you can recall your experience. Whenever you wanted to focus and you found people coming, walking down and up, you know, your cabin, you feel, why are these people barging inside my cabin? Correct?
Kind of, yes.
Right? That is actually, you know, for what you demand as a focus.
Okay.
Background music is
Reason
also
why you
affects
were
your
in
behavior.
HR is yet to come forward. Okay,
Ma'am,
I'll give that.
Background music is also affect your behavior.
No, it's all about, you know, you hear
What kind
a
yeah.
percussionist, you know, coming and playing a high beat number, or somebody, you know, giving a bass, flute, or a wind instrument. Clear? So it's based what is going to soothe in their mind. Okay, who wants to apply their mind or others' mind? I hope if Khalid and Namrata and also Loon,
Loon.
if you like to share any more careers that comes to your mind, whether you're sure that they connect with extrovert only or introvert only, or you have a doubt, you can ask me.
No, ma'am, I don't have doubt, but I want to just, I'm highly agreed with your points. But, whenever it's not okay that all the time you are mentioning yourself again. But, ma'am, I'm very extrovert, but I'm a good writer. Like, whenever my, जो भी मेरा past experiences रहा ना, just I
In 1
think,
minute, Amrita, it is actually about you relating with what you are, you have to run a test.
yeah,
Okay, whether you are an extrovert or introvert. What is mismatching and matching, finding it there. Now, you'll have to
Extrovert-
only, the activity is only, for if I say it is an introvert, please only don't connect you to the career.
okay, ma'am.
Right?
No,
Connect,
ma'am, I
connect
just
the
want to
career
tell
to
you
an
that if the people is ambivert, they can also do the both job, right?
that is
just
fine.
आपने
That
last
is
time
ambivert
बताया
is
कि-
different.
Yes.
Ambivert is different. I'll come to you discussing of that. Now to see where they are suitable. If it's an extrovert, who will be comfortable where? You have any
Leadership
examples?
quality.
Tell them.
And if the people is a extrovert, no, so leadership quality is there. So they can,
Please
manage.
don't generalize. Give me career.
Yeah, ma'am, so
Extrovert,
the
you can't say that introvert.
politician, ma'am, politician. If
1
the-
minute. Leadership is a skill. You cannot state that extroverts have leadership,
I'm
introverts don't
taking
have
my
leadership.
words back. I'm taking my words back. I'm just
Yeah.
talking about the career, politicians, it's also
Tell me, should a politician be extrovert or introvert?
extrovert is good for them because they have to manage the large
Correct.
number
They have
of
to be sourcing energy from outside. They have to be associating with many
they are
people.
learning from their
Think
gurus.
about the people, for the people, by the people, and of the people there. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Yes. Khalid, do you have anything to say? Okay.
For extrovert.
Huh.
Actually, in my field also as a nursing guy, I think that's the extrovert.
Nurse is an extrovert. You are a nurse giving
because
injection or medicine. Do you do a discussion?
it's okay. It's okay. I do discussion and manage the people all the time. I tell something that the symptom and how to manage the post discharge, how they handle all the things, and about the visitors, all the things I tell them. So
See,
I
you
think,
are associating with people to extend an empathy or care. But where do you learn from? Whenever you are assigned to give an injection to a patient, do you go and ask the patient, how should I give you injection? Or you are learnt about?
No, I just informed them, but I have other knowledge already.
Information is fine. I am asking you how to give the injection. Do you learn from many others or you are being learned in your studies on it?
By study.
Okay, one, that's another introvert. And when you're giving injection, will you line up 4 or 5 people together and give injection for all of them at a time, or you go one-on-one?
No, one-on-one, and there are a lot of procedures. There are a lot of ethics.
So they're all medical practice, correct? This has been taught to you in your BSc in nursing, yes?
Yes, yes.
And you follow them, right? The learnings have been on your mind. Internally,
Yes.
you apply your mind there.
Yes.
You don't discuss with N others, correct?
Hmm.
In the field of medical, everybody is introvert who is practicing medicine. It could be paramedical, or it could be general medicine, or it can be conservative medicine, or it can be applied or alternative medicine.
Okay.
Introvert is
But
highly.
but the person who is means content writer is that a guy content writer, but the writing for the medical for advertisement, like hospital advertisement and all the things.
Hospital advertisement is an extrovert because they are wanting to promote their hospital as a business.
The
Writing
digital
about the
marketer,
hospital, giving reviews, it is external, correct?
Okay.
A content writing can be, a creative writing or a vlogging. Vlogging requires extrovert, but a story writing, poem writing requires an introvert. Their mind is up there. Clear?
Okay.
Loon, you have anything to ask?
Yes, I'm still confused about this personality type between extrovert and introvert. Let us consider the case of a poet, for example. So you just mentioned that a poet is mostly an introvert.
Correct.
But most of the time, let's say, a poet writes from the experiences that he has, maybe while interacting with other people, while going out and then socializing with other people. And then he comes home and thinks about the experiences that he had and then writes about that. So I think it works both ways. At first, he was an extrovert, and then he comes home and write a poem, and he becomes an introvert. The whole point is that I'm not really exactly clear on how to draw a line between an extrovert and an introvert.
Can I help you here? See, when a
Yes,
poet,
please.
or a creative writer is writing a story,
Mm-hmm.
they might be associating with many people.
Mm-hmm.
But when they are writing the poem, the outcome is coming from their mind or others' mind, is the point. The creativity
from outside, no?
they ownership. Who is the ownership for the creativity? It is them or others. If you tell a vlogger, I agree with you.
Ma'am, this is the confusing point, no? But they are going to expose this, they are going to learn from outside, but
They are not learning from outside. My question is direct and very simple. Loon, can you answer
and
me?
you can't experience one thing,
Please wait.
within you. You should
Wait.
go outside. I think.
Please,
Right.
please wait. Please wait. So, Loon, my one question is,
Mm-hmm.
when the poet is writing a poem,
Mm-hmm.
who is the owner for that poem?
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying now.
That creativity comes from their inner mind or from a discussion point of view.
So even though the poet goes out to socialize with other people, then the poem still comes from himself alone. And I think that is why we should refer to the poet as an introvert.
People who are actually bringing the creativity from their mind are these people who are poets and also storytellers. They are the authors, correct? Okay.
All right.
Right. Okay. But you know what is that you are actually connecting with others is actually a point of third. I'll come to it soon. You'll get that holistic. Okay.
All right. If we have time, can I say one more thing?
Yes.
So I don't really know whether I am an extrovert or introvert because I write a lot, I think a lot, and on the other side, I think I feel that I'm very approachable, and then I readily take initiative.
This kind of contemplation happens in everyone. All 6 of you are possible to have you, anywhere in between these two.
I think
Please have this contemplation. This should be traveling in everyone's mind. So
Rana,
I missed sending you people the link for taking the assessment yesterday. Today I will send it across and run an assessment because in a discussion, you may feel I'm here, I'm there also.
Mhm.
Radha, can I put it? So, I think we all have both the things in us, right? If I see any person who is somewhere a successful person, he needs to be in both ways. He needs to be an extrovert and introvert both, because
Not like
sometimes
that.
he needs to acquire the knowledge from outside, that like
Success,
I'm acquiring
sorry
it
to
from
be
you,
interrupting, Neeraj. See, the
and then
success is
relying on
not
my own
about,
brain.
they have to be having both the characters. Knowing where they are and attaching to that environment. That is where the success is indicated.
Yes, and that's, I
Having a
think
blend of
that's
both
where the
is not
answer for
only a
them
success. Yeah,
lies.
correct. So they have to be aware, knowing their own strength. I am perfectly a person who is suitable here. That awareness is required. Both can be successful. They can be, if they're extrovert also successful, introvert also successful. A blended ambivert characteristic also can be successful. But
I
they
think
must be
I
aware.
was more referring to ambivert. I was
Correct.
more referring to ambivert because I feel if we start looking at things which we are right now going through and applying it on ourselves, it comes out to be we are all ambiverts, right? We rely on our own brain
Too early for you
sometimes.
to judge, be judgmental on it. Because there are 3 more factors to determine a personality. Please don't be rushing into a conclusion. You have
I'm not.
understood what is actually an extrovert and introvert. And
I think
also, please learn the rest of the 3 factors together.
yes.
Where will you relate? You will get a clarity. Okay?
Okay. Rather, but I was not judgmental about it. I was putting my
I'm
point of view.
telling this to everybody, not only you. Okay? I'm not particularly pointing you. For me, I'm just trying to help you about how to approach this. I'm not anyway mistaking anybody. Don't take it anyway offensive. Okay? I'm only generalizing already. Okay. Now, if extrovert and introvert approach is clear, I'd like to go to the second factor, which is again collecting information required to process our work. Because in order to process our work, we need input. As a person, what kind of method I follow in collecting my inputs? I can be sensing or intuitive download. What Carling says is when I'm sensing, I apply all my 5 senses or any of my 5 senses, which is seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, and tasting. Okay, when I'm collecting an input, I'm doing an observation, correct? And when I'm sensing, I'm observing using all the 5 senses or any of the 5 senses. So I'm referred as a highly observant person when I'm sensing in nature down in. Okay. So what do I observe? I observe what is available in front of me by seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, and tasting. What are those available in front of me? Anything which is happening now in front of me, I pick up them as facts, right? These are facts, and I am also a factual person. I like to pick up those which are facts, which are available in front of me, which is currently happening now, or it might have happened in the past and available as an historical fact in front of me. This is why I am called also as a factual person. And I see what is real in it. I am also realistic. So anything that I am picking up are real-time data, facts, or figures. So I am also realistic and practical of what is now. Anything which is happening in front of me now or available in front of me now. I don't use my imaginations at all. There's no space for me as a factual first person for imagining. I see what is happening in the present. As a sensing person, I believe in doing now rather than thinking about it. So I have no space for imagination. I believe in doing, acting on it. Since I don't want to imagine, nothing can attract me, give me a flowery pictures. I can't be carried away with something which is not realistic in front of or not certain in front of. Whatever I'm picking helps me in being certain, with which I'm able to go for conclusion. I pick up something that will help me in order to conclude, yes, these are facts. These are certain to happen. This will definitely really happen. And that which actually hits my common sense when I'm able to do it now, I'm also referred as a sensing person. As a sensing person, which is rich in me, I'm highly observant, I'm highly factual, I'm highly realistic and practical, and do anything which is now possible. I don't have any space for imagination. Whatever is available in front of me through my observation, I consider them as real-time data, facts, and figures and start working with it. It connects with my common sense. Yes, I'm able to do it now instead of thinking about it. Right? I don't go for any kind of nicer elements because it is attractive. Okay, you can remove this fantasy is a dirty word. It will unnecessarily disillude you or elude you. Okay, now you can just think sensing is all about facts and happening now, or which have happened in the past and available as a proven record with me. We work only with real-time information. This is persons has sensing in nature who pick up them as input and start working. I trust sensing is clear. If sensing is clear, what are the natures connected with intuitive? Intuitive people are full of imaginations. Via imagination, there can be two magics happening in a person who is rich in intuition. One magic is getting a lot of new ideas. Another magic is about getting into lots of assumptions. These are connected with an intuitive mind in order to collect inputs based on an intuition. When I said new ideas, you find that they're not the routine self. It's different from the usual. It can be happening for the first time. Never happened before. Right? It is thought out of the box through a lateral thinking, which often you find reflects in a design. Design is new. It is never a repetition. It is new. Whenever you find there is an invention, invention is something which is scientifically happening for the first time. Correct? It is invention. Or it can be also innovation. What is innovation? Adopting newer methodologies. Correct? Okay. Now, new ideas which are thought out of the box, different from the usual, happening for the first time through a lateral thinking or, all reflect as a design or invention or innovation. Something is not in real in front of us, which we are able to visualize in our mind. That means there also an imagination plays. When we come to assumption, when do we assume? Whenever something is not certain. And also it is not really happening, correct? Which leaves us in a state of hypothesis. Might happen, might not happen. Would happen, would not happen. Leaving us multiple probabilities or newer possibilities. Often leading us to visualize a bigger picture. Here also, when we are assuming, we work with some data, but these data are not a clear data or a certain data or a specific data. They are all very fussy in nature. Even in this case, we work with fussy data. And think about how it can be, in a different form later. This later is future. Future includes even tomorrow. After a week, after 15 days, after 1 month, after 5 years, after 10 years, how it would be differently. That's also an assumption because it is not really a true picture in front of us. Where again a visualization plays a vital role. That vital role is actually giving us a bigger picture of something which is not real. Sometimes our hypothesis might work or sometimes it might not. But leaving us in an assumption point of view, correct? This is also because of an intuition what a person can have in their mind. They collect inputs via their intuition. Intuitive people are more imaginative, and this imagination in turn can be reflecting as a new idea or even an assumption. New ideas, since because it is coming out of lateral thinking, out of the box, new, first of its order, can be a design or an invention or an innovation. Or while it is an assumption, working on some data, but which are not actually, factual data, they are actually fuzzy in nature, unrealistic, uncertain to happen, leaving us a probability of an hypothetical state of approach, leaving us with multiple probabilities. And those are not for now. You can see it is for the future applications. How would it be in future? So to quickly sum up, sensing people are factual, intuitive people are full of assumptions and imaginations. Sensing is something what is happening now. Intuition is about what is going to happen in future. Sensing people will be able to carefully conclude through the certain information and specific information. Intuitive people work with a lot of fuzzy data and information with which they'll not be able to conclude very clearly. Sensing people do about something, while intuitive people think about something. Sensing are actually close to conclusion through a common sense approach. Intuitive sometimes take us, somewhere beyond the track. Because it's an assumption and we are trying to visualize and track our assumptions. Sensing are real, while intuitive or hypothetical. Clear between the difference?
Yes.
So we discussed some careers for the extrovert and introvert. Can we bring them here and find out who is connecting where? Where will you put an accountant? Will the accountant be sensing or intuitive?
Sensing.
Sensing.
Perfect. Because they work with the real information, either their income or expenditure, correct?
Correct.
But where will you put a financial analyst?
It has to be a financial analyst.
Intuitive?
Correct. A financial analyst is the one who speaks about the status of the fund, whether it will grow or degrow, correct? Which is very hypothetical, isn't it? The NPV, net present value of a money invested in a market fund, those are the financial analysts who gives us a picture. Whether will we get our returns, what kind of returns, whether that return will grow or degrow from the NPV. This analysis is based on a fuzzy data, yes or no? Again, they work with a data, but it's a fuzzy data where there is a risk. Is risk sure to happen or hypothetical? Hypothetical.
It's hypothetical.
So it is intuitive, clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so we cannot categorize all the finance people as only intuitive, understood? Accounting is sensing. Account can never be assumption. It's a real-time data. But if you take a finance management, you take banking. Banking take deposits from the public in the form of term and time. And even your savings account also, you cannot go and put any X value at your own whims and fancies, correct?
Yeah.
We have to give real information about our source of income also when it's crossing beyond 50,000 rupees. For even depositing or borrowing loans, we have to obviously give credit information about us, facts about us, correct? They have to be proven. Then only once it's proven, only they'll give, correct?
Yep.
Okay. The bankers, they would only go for secure funding. They're doing any investment also, they'll go for only secure funding, correct? Only when the banks deal with mutual fund, they also have certain operations of their fund allocation. The systematic transfer plan is actually a rescuer for them. So they would also have a risk substance, but dominantly they'll go by sensing. Even you think for a finance manager in a company who is actually to source an investment capital or even a working capital to buy a plant and machinery, they're wanting to go and borrow money. Or for the working capital, they'll want to go and borrow the money. The time factor and the interest factors, what it can actually, refer to the cost, everything they have to actually vouch. And not only that, when a company is doing a profit, that's a surplus money, where they're not looking for it to grow, where they want to secure it. It's based on the facts. They'll not go and invest it in a market fund where it is oscillating to grow or degrow, correct? So a finance management is more sensing, but a financial analyst who is into this portfolio analysis of how the market would perform is actually, very hypothetical. There is a risk. See, both of them are doing a financial analysis, but one is doing a trend analysis. They go by the factors which are promising, right? In case of financial management, as an analyst who are independent, who are not taking the complete accountability on its performance, correct? They will only be indicatively. They're giving you an opinion. There is a risk. So that's a role of an independent financial consultant, correct? They'll tell us, they can't stop themselves to, speaking about the risk involved. All right, now can you tell me, where do we put a data analyst? Are they sensing or intuiting?
Sensing only. Sensing only.
Correct. What are they doing? They're storing the data, mining the data, and retrieving the actual data. What is data? Collection of raw facts. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Data analyst is actually sensing, but a data processor or a data scientist is also possible to be intuitive, because the raw data, which may not be usable one, they convert it, process and convert it as in useful information, helpful in business applications, correct? So any data can be useful for their business conversion, which is not an information by itself, clear? They are not even sure till they process whether the data can be useful to convert as an information, clear?
Right.
Good. So that's a role of a person who is actually into a data scientist. Now tell me, where will you put a scientist? Is a scientist required to be sensing or intuitive?
It's a kind of mixed possibilities, right, ma'am? So he need to take the real-time scenarios and into the future possibilities also.
Correct. Then which should be dominant?
The dominant should be intuitive. That's what I believe.
Okay. Now, in last year or last but 1 year, we released the COVID vaccines. Correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
which is a biomedical research, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Now, can you tell me that biomedical research is a combination of mixed chemical biomedical components, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So is it actually a proper ratio of the chemical formula, or it is an ad hoc?
Yes, ma'am. It's a based upon the facts and everything.
Now it can be an intuitive one. It is only sensing dominant required. If you
Yes.
take any kind of biological research, if you take a plant research, from the seed only a sapling comes, from the sapling only a plant comes, plant only tree comes, from the tree flower and fruits come, correct? It's a research and development, no? What Ganesh said.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, in that case, if we consider the astrophysicist and
I'm not speaking about the astrophysics. Astrophysics is fine. Now, first, let us finish with the biology.
okay, ma'am.
Biological researchers are sensing or intuitive? That's my question.
They're sensing, ma'am.
They are only sensing. Even if you take genetics also, let it be molecular or cytogenetics. All of them are specific RNA and DNA factors, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Any area of biology, do you have a doubt whether they are going to be intuitive? Intuitive may be little present in the person, but what is dominantly required for biological research? Facts.
Sensing.
Yes, sensing, ma'am.
Sensing.
Picture of 2 or more pollen grain comes with a new hybrid variety of a plant, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Biological, it can be human biology, animal biology, or plant biology. All of them are based on facts.
Yes, ma'am. But
Wait, now come to the next area of science, chemistry. In chemistry, a compound is a mixture of 2 or more elements, correct?
yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
So that is also got a specific ratio. That is a fact-based research, correct?
Mm,
Paleontology, which is a fossil fuel researching, correct?
mhm.
From the fossil fuels only petroleum derivatives are obtained. Is it a fact or is it actually an assumption?
Ma'am, it's a fact only. But
Okay. Now
yes.
come to the third branch, which is physics, your branch. Now in physics, what you say is astrophysics, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Till Galileo's telescope was found, what was the opinion about the space? Did anybody know the distance between the planets? And it was in, revolving around the sun. Did they know that the solar system was in an elliptical orbit? Did anybody know about it? It was an assumption, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
How was that distance between the planets calculated? They were throwing light. Based on the velocity of light reaching, they were calculating the distance, correct? Time and distance, time and speed, we were calculating the distance, correct?
Mm.
After Galileo's telescope discovery only, invention only, we were able to find out what is the actual distance, correct? Till then, it was an assumption only, agreed?
Yeah.
Intuitive, correct? Now take our recent Chandrayaan project, prestigious project. When we tried to step in the Mars, it was the first time, correct? The team who approached there, right from the pressure gauge, frequency, and also the velocity, everything, the distancing, everything, was it facts or assumption?
Factual.
Facts, no, assumption. Then why would they actually find a trouble before reaching the Mars? Physics related areas alone are possible to be intuitive. Understood?
Mm.
It was a relative calculation, right? So it has to be intuitive.
Correct. And also, when Thomas Alva Edison gave the bulb for the first time, he picked up a tungsten filament and applied a 12-volt on it, which illuminated. It was a first time finding. So we agree it is an invention. So invention comes after new ideas. It is intuitive. Current days, we have many lighting companies who are giving us nano LED solutions, correct?
Mm.
Which is innovation, ergonomics, correct?
Yeah.
That is also intuition. So a research design is intuition, which is based on what Neeraj said, relative calculation. It was not accurate, but a research and development, we made lot of, human satellites launched in the space. When it was done for the first time, it was intuitive. But when there were a lot of annexures to improve the signal gain, then it is a research and development. Are you clear?
Mm.
Research, as such, people call it as R&D. This R&D can be a research and design and also a research and development. We have to help ourselves in differentiating between the both. When you put a person who is more sensing in chemistry and biology related researches, he will be super good. If you put that person into intuitive related researches, he will be struggling, which demands a design knowledge, new ideas. Correct? Agreed? Now
Mm.
clear, Yugender?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I have a little doubt, ma'am.
Tell.
We have discussed about the chemistry, right? So the photon, electron, neutron, these things, no one has seen it. So there is no facts for about that. So it's all
No.
about intuition. thing, right?
It is not actually directly a chemistry. It's a physical chemistry. Understood?
Okay.
Right? You have also biophysics. You have also physical chemistry.
Yes,
The
yes.
Protons, neutrons, again you go by the structures, correct?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Right? And when they are actually applying this photon, neutrons, and electrons, when they are trying to develop a body because of it, where is it actually, more applied? In atomic science. It is again connected with physics, correct? And
Correct.
also in explosions, right? And they don't test it in the city. They test it somewhere in the forest or desert area only, correct?
Okay.
Right? If that research is happening also, if it is a fact-based research, then why will they not attempt it in the place where people are living? It can create a demolition to the ecosystem, right?
Yes.
If you ask me that way, we are suddenly getting that information. There is a cyclone approaching. How is it being told? It's a networking, correct? The seismic waves are actually captured and sent, right? But when it is going to the shore, it doesn't cross the shore where it was predicted, correct? It crosses. Again, there is a seismic wave is a fact, correct? It's not an assumption.
Okay, ma'am.
Clear? So we need to know to differentiate between invention, innovation, and discovery. Lot of chemistry and biology related areas will be predominantly sensing. But I have an information for you in the same context. Lot of chemical researchers are into sensing. But when it is coming for biochemical research, the medical formulas, sometimes, we not sometimes, in every case we know, a medicine has its shelf life, correct? After its shelf life, has it got a high level toxic behavior? Where
No.
are those effluents carried out? It can create an environmental pollution, right? In the field of chemistry, there is a study called toxicology, which are actually, dreadful to the environment. That requires a composition of intuitiveness also. Not to be surprised when the individual who is sitting in that research has to be, dominant by intuitive but adaptable to sense. Clear?
Right.
Okay, where will we put a lawyer? Sensing or intuitive?
Sensing only, ma'am.
Correct. No lawyer will be courageous to say, Your Honor, I assume. Correct. The honor will say, get out. Correct. It's facts, right? They can't assume there. A doctor as well. The doctor can also have a courage to say, come, I assume there is a mass in your stomach. This must be cancerous. Let me come on. I'll put you into a table and I'll dissect you and remove that. They have to go by the vitals. Clear? Medical has to be only sensing, no assumption.
I was not able to hear.
I was saying medical people have to be only sensing. They are not based on assumption.
Right.
Okay. So where will we put a designer?
Intuitive.
Correct. So when you see till the last 3-4 decades of 20th century, a civil engineer was a part of engineering domain, science, maths, and engineering. After rise in skyscrapers and tall buildings, an architectural design was required. If you see today, somebody who is actually good to be an architect, by their nature have to be very imaginative. What's the difference between a civil engineer and an architect? Civil engineer raises a physical structure in front of you and shows how the building is there. Your experience will be seeing a real-time structure, which is sensing. But an architect is someone who, even without raising the building, can give you an argumentative view about how the building experience would be. Clear? They bring it in your drawings.
Right.
Understood?
Yeah.
So this is one important critical fact. And if you can take for the people from the field of IT, we only generally say that I want to become a programmer. A program architect is different, a programmer and a developer is different. A program architect iterates newer programs. A programmer and developer agiles or scrums from the pre-existing feature. Clear? Okay. Where shall we put a photograph? Sensing or intuitive?
Intuitive.
Okay.
Lovely. I would want everybody of you to post your selfie in the group. I would like to see, are you imaginating your image or you are putting your live image? I want to see.
No, photographer must be sensing and the painter should be intuitive.
Painter also can be intuitive and sensing. Painter can be a person who is drawing a painting
Yeah.
of a scenery which is not in front of them. When they imagine in their mind and write, it is it is an intuitive.
Yeah.
But seeing a real-time scenery, they can draw a mural of yours. Clear?
Mhm.
It is sensing. So those are all into visual arts. Understood? Photographer, videographer, cinematographer, all these people capture a live image, correct? They're all sensing.
Mhm.
All right. So good, ma'am.
Imaging,
You are
anything
so
related to
conversant.
image science is sensing. Clear?
Yes.
बहुत अच्छे से समझा रहे हैं मैम, सीरियसली दिमाग में जा रहा है. So good.
Very good.
So clear.
Good. With that note, take a break and come back. I hope you're all enjoying
Yeah, ma'am.
to get into the precision area and differentiating, correct?
All right.
Right.
Okay, please come back. We have understood 2 factors. We'll come back and quickly move on to the rest 2 factors and complete personality today. Okay?
All right.
We'll come back at what time, ma'am?
Okay, what's the time now?
12:17. We can come back at 12:30. Is that okay?
Perfectly fine for me.
Mhm.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm back. Are we good to continue? I'm back. Am I good to continue?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So we have covered two factors for now. I believe you have got some understanding, right? One
Yeah.
is independent of where from the learning is obtained, how the energy is maintained, and also where from the knowledge is acquired. Second is about what kind of information do we gather in order to process our work. Okay. So therefore, we found that the two factors are actually helpful in identifying from the four kind of behavioral traits. Now, the third factor is about taking decision at work. So in fact, Ganesh, this is what you were looking at, right?
Right.
So taking decision at work, it can be either by thinking or feeling. What is the difference? A thinker thinks from the mind. A feeler feels from the heart. And if you note, when a thinker is thinking from the mind always demands an acceptance factor. Then only it takes a decision. The mind receives an acceptance factor, and then only it is actually taken for decision. Because before accepting, the mind will evaluate, is there a fact? Is there a truth? Or is there a logic either? Understood?
Yeah.
Either of the three or all of the three are required to make a decision. And such way, these logics look at, before taking decision, what is important to the situation, then where it is liked by others. Right? It is very unemotional. Mind views things very unemotionally. It looks at what is important and what is right rather than what is being liked. It doesn't give much value for emotions. It looks at everything as a task. And in order to get that task completed, what need to be done? The mind will only be looking at the demandments connected with the task. It focuses on critical objective to get the task completed, and it carries out a critical analysis. Say, for example, let us take in a business environment, there is a project manager. The project manager is responsible for the project deliverables, correct? And if it's a 14 months project, for a scenario I'm saying, 13 months is bygone. Another 1 month is the time available for the delivery. Till now, there is no major complaints. But the project manager, what they will do, they'll proactively call upon the team, where there are a team of about 11 or 12. They'll call upon them and make an important resolution. Nobody would be going on leave till the project is delivered, correct? They'll call upon and very proactively tell that if anyone wants to go on a holiday, please do it after the delivery. Till then, nobody would be taking leave. Else, there'll be a critical action taken on. They want to condition it, correct? Everybody have agreed upon, and next 2 days, morning 7 o'clock, the project manager is getting a call from one of the project associates. Boss, I will not be able to come to office today. Look at the response, the reaction of the project manager. Why? We already called upon each other and discussed and told that we resolved that nobody will be taking leave. Then why are you asking leave? Right? He is trying to control them. Correct? I'm a boss. You got to listen to me. The mind is not accepting for somebody's absence because the work might get decided. Correct? In this situation, the associate says, no, boss, I'm keeping sick. Look at my voice. I'm very weak. I saw you yesterday morning. What happened to you suddenly today morning? No, boss, yesterday morning when we were all meeting, I was not having any great impact in me. But towards the end of the day, I was, slowly sensing an abnormality. I returned home around 11:30 after finishing my work. In the cold night, it's everywhere winter. It's so very smoggy. Okay, so I turned up, into high level fever and temperature. I didn't sleep all through the night. See what time I'm calling you? 7 o'clock. So I need to be, checking on what is wrong. So I will not be able to work. I can't even sit. I'm having heavy temperature. This is a situation, and what will be the response of the project manager? He knows he's sick. Till now, he has been trying to dictate him. You must come with a focus in getting the job done. Now he sees that situation is going out of his control. All right, Ben, did you go to a doctor? Right? Sir, for that only I need leave. He'll think for a minute. Don't worry, man. One of my cousin brother is a doctor. He is a very good specialist in the town. I will give you his contact. Call him up and address your problem. Tell him that you are my colleague. Till now, this fellow, he was actually talking to him like you are my subordinate. The dictatorship was sounding. Now the modulation is slightly changed. Tell him that you are my colleague. He'll immediately address your problem. These days, medicines are delivered home, man. MedPlus or Apollo can deliver medicine at home. Even lab testing can happen. Get it tested. Whatever he's saying, you do it. And do one thing. You don't need to work in the morning. You take good rest. He'll give you some medicine. Ask your mom to prepare some good rasam rice, pepper rasam. To be, very good. You have that and take rest. You said you were sleepless last night. Sleep for the first half. By mid-noon, when you rise up, you will be completely all right. Little bit of weakness, but there, and some more dose of medicine should be making you all right. And any which case, you don't need to work in the morning. The work what you need to do, your input comes to you only in the second half. By 2:30 or so, it will come. You start working by 3 o'clock. And do also one thing, you don't keep coming to office. You send me an email requesting to work from home. I will approve it. The resource was asking for a leave, but look at the man as a project manager and also convincing him. You work from home, man. End of the day, by around 11 o'clock, you finish the report and send it to me. Also is fine. I'll be awake and I'll get that report and forward it to the client. At any cost, every day reporting is must. Okay, and moreover, whatever medical expenses you're incurring, send it to me. I'll approve it for reimbursement. And this week full, you don't need to take leave. You work from home. I'm giving you that flexibility. See what all gimmicks he's playing in order to get the job done. You don't need to give so much of flexibilities. These guys, they'll have a plan A. If it does not work, they'll have plan B. Plan C, plans D, they will have till plan Z. No wonder A1, B1, C1, Z1 also will be there. That means their mind is looking for different strategies in order to get their task done. They cannot be carried on emotions. For them, task is done because, I am answerable. I don't want myself to be put in a situation to say sorry that, or pleading with them why I have not done my work. I am accountable to do my work and I have to submit on time. So whoever is working with me also has to be with the same idea. Objective oriented, for which they will do critical analysis. Unemotional they are because everything is happening from their mind. But look for our fellow person, our friend Ganesh. For everything he will account. Oh my God, are you running with fever? Should I come? Can I come and take you to the doctor? Are you okay? Will you be able to manage? Somebody at home with you? What did you have in the night? Have some diet, man. Because having fever might weaken you back to back. Have medicines, have good B complex. Sir, but this works, sir. Don't worry, man. You are not the only individual in the team. We are a group of people. We are at least 12 or 13 of us. One person not absent for some time is no way going to stop any work. We can load balance. Every day anyways, we are all working for 9 hours or 10 hours. Another 1 hour each of us are going to load balance your work. We'll be able to finish it off. That's not something permanent. You're not running away from the job. No? Anyways, you will come back. If you are possible, you're going to come back. Correct? You inject a loyalty there. That means you connect with the person emotionally. Okay. So you talk to them in such a way that you are taking care of them. or you're more supportive to them, or you want to offer their help, because feeling always is from heart. Thinking is from mind, feeling is from heart. Your heart says somebody is suffering. Raise them a hand to support them or help them or take care of them or extend an empathy or sympathy on them. Because they are in some pain. This pain can be connected with physical or mental pain. There they need a solace. They need a shoulder where they can share with you. They are looking for your relationship. They want to connect with you so that somebody actually soothes their pain and emotionally handle them. See, people who are in feeling, they give a lot of importance for emotions. Emotions can be mixed. When you attempt to entertain someone, there is an exchange of emotion. When you try to motivate or inspire someone, there is again an exchange of emotion. When you are working to build a team and in order to establish a conducive relationship, there again an emotion is required. When you see somebody suffering on physical pain, the reason, Khalid, why you are there is not extrovert. It is because of your feeling in nursing. It is a call of the patient which is making you run to serve them. You are there as a nurse and seeing as a nature person, can't stand somebody suffering. You go for their first aid. That is feeling. And the biggest battle what Ganesh was fighting is not because, he was actually not a feeler. He was a feeler. And a person who is also introverted. If you take a person who is good to be an introvert and feeler is for nursing. Right? You are doing nursing to your team members. Understood, Ganesh?
Exactly.
Right. Then both the ways there is a relationship. There is a personalized care. You wanted to do a one-on-one, but there were a group of people who are coming and sitting in front of you. Clear?
Right.
Correct.
Yep. The first scenario though actually reflected my last employment.
Correct. We'll be, somewhere. See, one point Neeraj was sharing. Like he loves sales like something that he cannot, replace anything with that. That much he loves. There's a lot of prospect. He's been researching and doing a lot of prospects about being a salesperson. So that those dynamics he was trying to actually infuse in many people. And when he was all attempting about sales, they're all not thinkers, they're all feelers. Correct? There's a difference between sales and marketing.
Yeah.
Because sales people are thinkers. Marketing people are feelers.
Very true.
Sorry to say this, but this is fact. Sales people give limited acknowledgement for the usability of what is sold. They only are particular about liquidating the stock. Correct?
Yeah, they need to complete their
Correct.
set target.
They're supply driven.
That's what.
They're supply driven. They'll be looking at if the stock which is holding back is not liquidated, and they will be looking at the cost. Cost is not something which can be handled with emotion. Correct? But marketing, you can see they always, fight for taking a satisfactory gesture because it is connected with the usability, right? In principle, when business was evolving, we know that a customer's buying behavior was based on the need to buy, which we call it as N2B, NTB. In the business language, the customer's buying behavior was determined based on NTB, need to buy. You and I are not exemption to it. We don't buy something which is crazy. Unless we are convinced that it is a need to buy, we won't buy. Second is we also have to sense an urgency to buy. Sorry, affordability to buy. What is this affordability to buy? I should be able to have that money. I should be able to sponsor for it myself. Correct?
Yeah.
These were the two buying behavior which was actually expected from a consumer. Then why there was a market inequilibrium? the demand forecast or sale forecast was not very successfully working because lot of dead stocks were available. There is where sales and marketing came into the picture in order to handle those who are not having a willingness to. A consumer who has a need to buy and ability to buy, they are also even being stopped by a factor called willingness to buy when they don't have that. When they don't have a willingness to buy, the sales and marketing people create an urgency to buy, you to be. Sales people offer discount. There are many people which Neeraj can speak for an hour, how to actually, attract customers by giving discount. Correct, correct, Neeraj?
Yeah, there's when you talk about closing techniques, there's a technique which you are talking about. That's a closing technique.
That's a
So
sales.
now, if you see what is the difference between while you were discussing it, it came to my mind that the difference between sales and marketing is all about promoting the product. Sales is actually selling it.
Correct. It is
In simple
unemotional.
terms,
Unemotional. Sales is unemotional.
exactly.
Marketing is more emotional because there is a pain or a want in the market where your supply to it is catering to that want. Sometimes the consumer may not know it, and you actually connect with them in an usability point of view.
Yes, it is about creating the want also.
Yeah, it connects with the satisfaction of the value for money spent. And also, it is further converted these days as delight. Satisfaction is actually taken up an advanced form called delight. Both are emotional factors, correct?
Yeah.
So sales people are thinkers, marketing people are more into feeling, but strategic HR and strategic marketing cannot be completely feeling. Understood?
Let me give you some example here.
Yeah.
Now, salespeople, you were saying that salespeople are thinkers and the marketing people are more of feeling based, right? But when it comes to sales of intangibles, right? Like insurance, like financial services, it is about feelings now.
It's about?
It is all about feelings then.
No.
Ma'am,
how can now you tell me? I'm coming to you immediately. If you're selling a financial product and if it doesn't fetch me a return, right? I'm particular about the task, correct? You can't satisfy.
Why do you buy a term plan then?
Pardon?
It doesn't give you any return. You buy a term plan. Insurance, there's a product called term plan. That is
an endowment, correct?
No, and term plan is not endowment.
No, I'm speaking an endowment also there, correct?
No, it's endowment. Endowment is rather, please. Endowment is something different. Term plan is something different. Term plan is there are no returns, only death benefit. Now, is it a feeling based or it is a thinking based?
It is a thinking based.
No, it is a feeling based. It is a feeling based. It is a feeling based because please understand. Please understand. We are creating a hypothetical situation in front of the customer, saying you might die tomorrow. Then what happens?
That is actually
we are making him think about that.
Very good, very good. You're only speaking logic there. You're not speaking an emotional aspect there. You're establishing a logic there.
There is an emotional aspect to it, rather. What will happen to my kids and my wife after me?
Correct. That's true.
Which is not
a contingency approach.
Imagine it. You are saying about something. Yes.
No. I'm saying about if you are doing a marketing, you are a feeler. If you are selling something, it is only sensing. It is unemotional. I'll give you an answer here. The people in the financial products which are intangible, they are speaking a logic of what can happen. What can happen without an insurance? People will be deserted. And you be very calculative. It is a return that they are expecting either in the form of a monetary form or a risk coverage. Please understand, it is not to do anything with the emotion. It is a contingency approach because when you go and talk in India, we are the poorest to get insured. In abroad countries, if a husband is not insuring before his professional travel, the wife can even file a suit and go for divorce. This is a law there.
Yes.
There is a provision abroad, but in India, it is flexible because nobody is taking an insurance for the factor of risk coverage. Risk is not something which is emotional. It is unemotional. The after effects of the ignorance of risk only can be making a person to be remaining under an emotional situation. It is a proactiveness. It is a contingency approach. If you take a pilot who is actually, taking an every time an air journey, there are risks. Now, these risks can be, an hijack, or it can be an engine failure, or it could be a fuel leakage. Whatever it is, they're prone with risk. Can we say they're all feelers? No, they're all thinkers. They will have a contingency approach. Even a project manager also, absenteeism is not only the cause for lack in the work done. They will have even attrition, people leaving job. They'll have n number of people in the bench whom they can resource.
I think we missed the point here.
This strategy.
What we are discussing, what you were discussing was,
Yes.
I'm talking about the salesperson. I'm not talking about the person buying it. Please understand this once. That was I was talking. When we were talking about sales and marketing, we were saying that salespeople are more of thinkers than of feelers, and the marketing people are more based on feelings. I was saying that the salespeople are also there with the feelings, because when they sell the products like insurance and the products like financial services, they're also into feelings of the customer, feeling about understanding, keeping in not a sympathetic view, an empathetic view, that what will happen, what can happen, what can be there, and how can we fight it. It is not 100% sure that we can be finding it, or it is not 100% sure that the insurance will meet all the needs.
That is not a sale. It's a commercial transaction where it is approached with a marketing perspective, not with a sales perspective.
Okay.
Sales people are unemotional. I agree with the deliverables as a person who is selling a financial product or an insurance product. But that is actually marketing, not selling, because it is a bridge between the consumer's pain and also the seller's service. Clear? Okay. So these people sometimes adopt a strategy. People who are marketing people, who are feelers by nature, who requires to understand the need for what is the consuming. Okay. So these people, when they are not finding that, they are not having a willingness to buy. Willingness to buy can be for any reasons. They create an urgency. That is the strategy. Clear? That's a strategic approach. Advertisement is that, correct? When this band-aid of 1 or 2 rupees, this Handy Plus you can see in the television advertisements, right? It's not a big point for everybody to have it in their first aid box, correct? But how it is portrayed? A mother is actually, so very with an angry face like a tigress, projected. When the child is irresponsible, running here and there. And the moment the child has got hurt, crying for a minute and then cleaning himself and applying a band-aid, she hugs him like an elephant, right? What do we call there? Is it sales or marketing? It's a strategy. Marketing strategists, they actually have n number of approaches. And general marketing is going for an outreach to the customers with a conventional approach, direct marketing. Digital marketing and using all kind of technology as a medium is a strategic marketing, isn't it? How the decision is made, either only with the logic and task or with the emotions. What is highly required? Clear? No finance person will be actually a feeler. If you say banker is a feeler because they are lending money to the public, I would like to come to your place immediately and I request you to take me to that banker because I can borrow some 1 crore. Then give an insolvency, please fill for me and get away, correct? Bankers are thinkers. Be more curious to know what is that making you think as customer first. Sales and marketing, both of them are thinking customers as a first. But that's not by the nature, but that their interest area they would like to work. When we cover interest tomorrow, you will get that clarity. Okay. So a lawyer should be a thinker or a feeler?
Thinker.
Perfect. Because he wants to win. Okay, where will you put a person who is into photography?
It should be feeling.
Perfect. You like the photography, correct? It
Mhm.
attracts. What is common in the careers related to arts and language arts? If you take a drawing, painting, sculpting, you like seeing that, isn't it?
Mhm.
Namrata, right? And then it is not only intuition there, it is a feeling, correct?
Mhm.
Or you take a photography, it is feeling, visual arts. Or you take design arts, interior designer, fashion designer, web designer, multimedia animation, game designer. It connects with the liking of others, right? It is not a logic there, correct?
Mhm.
It's feeling more. But when you take engineering designers, the architects, they may have their imaginations, but they go with a max. When they talk to a client, what do they do first? Ask them, where's your property? What's the dimension of your property? So that they can calculate the free space for investment. The free space for investment in urban localities can be from 2 times of the land area. If the land area is 2,400 square feet, the construction area can be, carpet area can be up to 4,800 square feet. They can build it horizontally, vertically. The more vertically they go, they'll have to have the excavation accordingly. What should be the excavation depth? What can be the foundation? What can be the column raised? The calculation of the blue metal and also the concrete materials. Even the ceiling height can be between 10 to 12 feet. Based on the building height that can be calculated. It deals lots of maths behind about the structures. So an architect or a research designer or person who is actually a design engineer can be into automotive design or who is designing a new product, robotic design, automation. All these have to attach to a logic. There is no feeling component there. Engineers are not feelers, they are thinkers. Any design they make about the engineering area or they produce as a production engineer, it has to attach to a logic. There is a task attached to it more. Not a feeling, emotion. But interior designers are those who enhance the look and feel of the living atmosphere. It's more connected with feeling. A doctor is a thinker in general medicine. For a physician or a surgeon, they are unemotional. For them, they'll be only looking up, taking up any medical approach, scientifically proven, in order to eradicate the medical disease. You take up for a person who is an oncologist. Okay, a person who finds a person who is having a malignancy in an organ, they would like to remove it. On the surgical table, it is another one anatomy for them. They can't have any emotions. They'll perform the surgery and see that they are safely retrieved, rescued, correct? And after even the surgery, the physician carries out a chemotherapy. Chemotherapy, it can deteriorate their health conditions. But infusing chemotherapy again and again, they won't do it continuously. They'll have relevant intervals. Though it is a task, they do it very analytically. They do a critical analysis, what the body can take. But whatever are the after effects, who is handling? People like Khalid. They have been led to the palliative team. They care of them. Correct, na, Khalid? You care for them. You see their sufferings and you emote for them. You want to be very empathetic and sympathetic on them.
Sure.
In general medicine, doctors and physicians who are surgeons also, they're all, thinkers. Even in applied medicines, you take dentistry. You go to a dentist, older days you have a decay or a cavity, they will try to extract the tooth. So painful it will be. These days, they see the intensity of that decay or cavity. Based on that, they suggest as a root canal treatment. In either case, it's not easy for us to take, correct? It's a task for them. They critically analyze what kind of sensitivity and pain an individual can take up, correct? They're all thinkers. But if you take, conservative medical managements, like Unani, Siddha, homeopathy, naturopathy, audiology, speech therapist, all these people are feelers. A person who is coming to you and aiming to become a doctor, if you find them a feeler, They need not get into general medicine. They can get into any of the conservative medical practices as a doctor, physician, or even get into paramedical. But in paramedical, a nurse, a therapist, a dietitian, and also a physiotherapist, they're all feelers, they're all enablers. They care for others. But a radiology technician, an operation theater technician, they're all thinkers. Even a medical transcriptionist, or even a hospital data management, they're all thinkers. They don't emote. We need to be very clear about which are the career fields, by and large, what is required. If you take medical, by and large, everybody requires to be introvert, not extrovert. They require to be sensing, not intuitive. But based on the occupation or the profiling, they can be thinkers or feelers. Am I clear?
Yep.
Yes.
If thinking and feeling is clear to everyone, can I move to the next factor?
Yes.
Any questions on this, thinking and feeling?
No.
Okay. Emotionally taking decision is feeling. Unemotionally taking decision is thinking. An ambivert character is a strategy introduced into the feeling or into the thinking, where you have a blended characteristic. Strategic marketing or strategic HR is that. All right. These three factors were given by Carl Jung. The fourth factor was introduced by Myers and Briggs. She states that in carrying oneself at work, the two behaviors include judging and perceiving. Generally, when we say judging, people relate it to being judgmental. Some people do this. If it is going to be connected with judgmental, that's a decision-making attribute, correct? That's over with the third factor. Why is again it is replicated here? No, that's not the idea. Judging people are referred to be highly organized. Why I'll tell you. When someone has got highly judging in nature, in them, they plan everything whatever they want. They don't haphazard start anything. And they won't be doing any number of tasks assigned by anybody. At one time, they want to do one task. And before starting to do that task, they would want to see whether all the resources are available. Let us start it now. Something is not available. On the way, we will pick up. Doesn't work for them. They're not comfortable with it. Something is missing. It will always keep, eating their mind. Because they want to make a checklist of what is required and what is to be done one by one, step by step. They work in a planned and an orderly fashion. What first, what next is always a convenient method of working for them. And they like to finish doing things, as early as possible. With regard to timelines, they demand a high level punctuality. Starting a work on time and finishing it on time is very, very critically important. They're very comfortable working with that methodology. They're more comfortable with a standard operating procedure, doing routine things. Sudden alteration, changes, makes them, reflect discomfort. They'd like to follow a standard operating procedure, which is pre-existing, and they're very comfortable. If there is no one such, they'd like to structuralize one standard operating procedure and look after that whether themselves as well as others who are working with them on the project is actually following. Believe in standardized method of working as a system. Very regulated method of working. Not having sudden changes. In fact, they would also, make a policy for everything. Standard operating procedure. Anything, is ambiguous, they don't want to experiment on. They would avoid any kind of a last minute pressure. They keep their deadlines ahead and always work towards finishing it before the deadlines. That's a pressure for them. They're very uncomfortable to handle last minute pressure. And seriously, giving too much of information at one point of time annoys them. If some of you are judging here what I've been doing for past 2.5 hours, you might be literally annoyed with no surprise. Because you're talking suddenly about the nature, you're talking about the concept, you're talking about the work nature, and suddenly calling Kalyang, too much you're speaking. I'm not able to load everything in one time. Tell me one by one structurally. I will listen to you. If you are demanding that from me, then you are actually, assured to be a highly organized person. Judging in nature, that is very high in me. You want to learn everything systematically, step by step. So judging nature people are referred as highly organized, planned, structured, orderly, punctual, who works by standard operating procedures, who follows the system, who adheres to the rule book, and who will be able to manage the situation. Correct? So everything is connected with judging nature. Sounds very positive. And what will you call a perceiving person? Should we call them a disorganized person? Then it is a negative interpretation. If judging is a nature which is positive, perceiving is another nature which is positive. When they are connected in that environment. Perceiving people, they don't demand any kind of structures, policies, rule books, or regulations. They stay open. They don't fuss about giving you or giving them all information in one stroke. And then only kickstart. They can quickly start. They can connect between the dots very easily. Rather, we can address them as easy troubleshooters. They live for the moment and raise just in time. It's all because they have a unique nature in them called instantaneous or spontaneous, which helps them to raise to quick in situation. They need not be informed. They'll be able to take the 11th hour and 59th minute pressure and quickly act upon it. You can see such people keep doing multiple tasks. In one time, they don't assign themselves with one fixed task. They do multitasking. And you can find each of the tasks are very dynamic in nature. Not uniform. Different things they will be doing at one time. That is what we call it as multitasking. And you see that each of that multitasks will be different and creative. All right. Creativity can come after imagination. So imaginative people can be creative because their new ideas can be making things give a different experience. They can be creative. But needless that all creative people must be imaginative. That is why I told you photography. Photographers are more creative. They are just-in-time people. A wildlife photographer doesn't demand a lion to come and give a posture to photograph it, correct? That imaging is happening in the spurt of that moment. A smiling lion or a laughing lion. Imagine, no? Visualize. 2 days before, I was seeing a photograph of a woodpecker in a tree who has actually made that carving in the tree. And that man was having a long DSLR camera with that focus. He's focusing and showing that cuckoo bird or that woodpecker is actually yawning. I was awestruck. How can that image be so very sharply, captured? Or that visual be captured? Even wedding photographers, now the dates have bygone. We sitting and watching the complete video of the wedding, correct? 3 days, 2 days wedding. They give you one montage video, you can see that will have all candid shots. Just in time, it will be so very natural, correct? So this creativity are actually naturally built. It comes just in time. All right. So if you can see here, if I compare all those careers, whichever you have so far looked at, a person who is an accountant has to be, highly structured. Posting the ledger with debits and credits, incomes and expenditures, posting into the right heads has to be structurally done, correct? Then only an accounting balance can be coming. But for a financial analyst, that is not the criteria. They are just in time, correct? The market fluctuations will be sensed by them very quickly, even towards the closure of the day's market. 4:45, if NSE is closing by 5, 4:45, they'll be able to, come out with new insights. You take all the designers, fashion designers, interior designers, web designers, multimedia animation, VFX designers, graphical designers. They flood with a lot of creativity, which is unimaginably coming in just in time. They don't know when they will get their imagination. And showcases a versatility, a variety. Those variety, each one of them will be, different and creative. They can actually, without spoiling the originality, they can show a difference. That is visual arts. But an architect, right, attaching a logic to their imagination, they give a structural drawing. They give a structural drawing. They give them a bill of quantity as what could be the construction approach, right? It's a planning. So they're all judging in nature. So is an IT engineer who's iterating a newer program in robotic process, which is an automation, integrating software and hardware of electronics as an assembled product. How a printed circuit board with an IC where the features are programmed and embedded, which drives the relay and the transformer to regulate a function, correct? That is automation. So in information and technology, if it's a product as a service, for a finished product, when there is an IT introduced, it is more judging in nature required because there's a structural integration required. But in case of a programming, for example, you take hacking, ethical hacking. Hacking does not happen exactly 12 o'clock, everybody will be sleeping. This time we'll go and hack. It happens just in time. The vulnerability, we don't know when we'll be able to spot it. It is just in time. Be it a security architect or a hacker who is going and hacking information from the other sites. These are spontaneous. If you take the field of medical, doctors, right? We go to a doctor because they are very organized. They do a proper diagnosis and also gives us a medical plan prognosis. But imagine situations under emergency care, post-accident, or any kind of a cardiac stroke or neurostroke. Neurostroke, what do? The emergency doctors and nurses. They put them into any immediate attention, right? The neurostroke, they will understand the time, how long that the patient has been experienced that stroke. And based on that, they will know that there is an erratic blood circulation, right? Hypertension levels are very high. There could have been a clot into the brain vessels. And their work will be about stopping from the next stroke to happen. They don't know where the stroke will happen. So they'll infuse them with blood thinners. Or the people who are coming out of cardiac stroke, they'll put them into ventilators. And they'll also do a resuscitation in case even if it is an arrest. CPR they do. So these are all, just in time activities. So therefore, a doctor or a nurse can be judging or even perceiving. Those who are perceiving nature, hospitals absorb them into the emergency units, who can just in time work, do multitasking. This is also good for even a doctor and a nurse. If you take business management, people handling business, it could be an entrepreneurship who's owning their own business or taking up a leadership position as an entrepreneur in any other business environment. Taking up a leadership position can be a CEO, CXO, CTO, CFO, CHO. In either cases, they have to be extrovert. They can be sensing or intuiting based on the market size that they're handling and the type of market, whether it is a competitive or a monopolistic market. They can be even thinkers or feelers based on the role they are taking. But between judging and perceiving, an entrepreneur can be judging as well as perceiving, because as they start their business, they can register themselves with ROC, establish an AOA and MOA, and do it, very structural way. Or when they find there is an opportunity in the market, just in time they start. Startups and SMEs are actually, just in time. They see that there is a demand in the market, they don't wait. Because if they wait to start and do things, many things, by then, the market would have been taken by somebody else. They need also spontaneity. Entrepreneurs are more perceiving also as a startup. They see there is an opportunity, just in time they start the business. But in business management, count it is vertical or horizontal segmentation of the product or service. They have to follow the protocol. Right? Everything has to be called upon an annual general body meeting before diversifying or before even dissolving. They want to decline a product or they want to start a new product. It cannot happen in their own whims and fancies. They have to get stages of approval. It has to be very structurally projected and get the concurrence of the approval team, right? So business management refers to planning, organizing, monitoring, and control. It demands a person to be in business management as a high-level judging in role. People who are perceiving in nature, who are just-in-time people, they'll go and struggle with. They have to be dominant by judging, or at least adaptable by judging. But if they are perceiving dominant, they're fit to be their business owners as an entrepreneur. They'll start, work for 3-4 years, bring about the proof of concept. They'll improve the the value of the company by 2x or 3x. Then they'll sell it off and go and start another venture. These are typically entrepreneurs. They can also structurally establish a business. The first generation entrepreneur will definitely look for it. They want to be having a secure business. They're also possible to do that. But you can find today in startup culture, they don't want to work in regular times. You can see they'll be weirdly working. In business or management, that cannot happen. Right? That's all I got to say about judging and perceiving. Perceiving people are actually multitaskers, more creative, versatile, they're more natural. They race to just in time. And they're more easy troubleshooters. They live for the moment and they can quickly connect between the dots. They're open even on any uncertain situations to race just in time. Okay. I hope all the 4 factors are clear.
Absolutely.
It's better, no? When I started with extrovert and introvert, there was an ambiguity. We have distributed certain areas of a work nature at 4 different factors, correct?
Right.
So as per both Carl Jung and MBTI, we understand these 4 factors permutate and combinate with 8 variants, totally 16 types of personality, correct?
Yeah.
From the beginning, have you been having this mind about an individual's behavior? We are testing and seeing which is actually, dominant in them, and we are picking up that information from one state of mind. I think Loon, you will be able to get your answer. Loon, actually, you began with some query to it, correct? That is, if a person is reported to be extrovert, his or her changed to become an introvert. What if today they are saying that they are extrovert? After some time, if they transform to introvert, is this something which is pricking all your mind? Yes?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong.
Hmm.
Okay, so Carl Jung and MBTI, when they gave this 16 types, to use this model, there was a lot of, validity factors. Because both of them did a factor analysis, which were only qualitatively measured, correct?
Mhm.
A difference between an extrovert and introvert, its proportion, a high and low cannot give you a deterministic understanding about whether it will change or not change, correct? When extrovert is high, will this transformation to introvert happen or not? When introvert is also available in a person, correct? Very confusing point, isn't it? And always, I found that Namrita, Neeraj were attempting to claim yourselves, I'm a mix and match here. An ambivert here, correct? Nothing wrong. But please first test yourself. Even when you know qualitatively you are high by one trait, other trait is also adaptable, you need not be confirming that you are adaptable to change. Because you can't predict, will you change or not change? That's the limitation why many people were not going for MBTI model for their life. If it is reliable, we can go. And we are able to conclude that this particular formula works to determine absolutely, then it is fine. The limitation both of them left behind was, calculating it qualitative. So what is that we at Edu Milestones have introduced is introducing quantitative techniques. How is that quantitative technique? Each of the factor is measured in a scale of 100. Got it?
Yep.
So you will be knowing the perfect ratio between them, isn't it? So when we measure independently for how an individual is sourcing learning, 0 to 100, both of them will have a specific ratio, correct? If extrovert is 100%, introvert can be 0. Extrovert is 90, introvert can be 10. 80, 80, 20, 70, 30, 60, 40, even 55, 45 and 51, 49 is possible. But both of them are never equally measured, 50, 50. Understood? Otherwise, we will not be able to arrive. By introducing this, we can inspect whether they are adaptable to change or not. Okay, Loon, let us consider. You are actually an extrovert. Okay. If your extrovert ratio after the assessment is identified, you're 100%. Do you mean to say that you will suddenly transform to become an introvert? Loon, can you answer me this question? Or anybody would like to respond to me on this? Let us consider when you're 100% extrovert. Your transformation to introvert, will it all in a sudden happen?
No, it would happen very gradually, very gradually.
Very gradually, it will take a longer time, correct?
Yes.
The question is, should we wait till then and remain undecided about our career, or should we take the decision for our career now?
Mhm.
When is the decision making required? No, isn't it?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, when it is at least 90-10, even then the gap is huge, isn't it? If you can
Mhm.
interact, this is a nicest area of your learning. 90-10, in that case, can you assure your transformation? Try interacting, no? It will be like so very nice to learn. Is it possible to transform?
I think the possibility is always there.
Prosperity is there, but the probability is high or low when it is
Prob-
90-10.
When it is 90-10, the probability is on the higher side. When it is 51-49, or maybe
Transformation is not that magical, right? It doesn't all in a
yes,
sudden happen. It takes a longer
yes,
time. Even
It-
till 70-30, 65-35 also, correct?
yes,
When is it probable to change? When the ratio is 60-40, because you find a standard deviation of 10% this side, 10% that side, correct?
Mm.
When your ratio is between 60-40 after the assessment, then that is what we call it as adaptable to change. And we also claim it as an ambivert nature. Do you understand?
Mhm.
Okay. The ratio between extrovert and introvert, it can be 60-40, 57-43, 55-45, 43-57, or 51-49 also. The gap is actually, very limited by standard 10% of deviation, correct?
Mm.
This is a range where you're adaptable to change. But when the ratio is highly dominant on one side, above 65, to transform to the other side is not that magical. That means their environmental exposure has to be, drilling them on that, hammering them on that, correct? If I am one in your environment and I can bring in a change in you, because you feel that, environmental changes can happen, a change in an individual. If you are an extrovert by 55%, 45% of introvert, can I come and force you to become an introvert from tomorrow? Can I? Will you allow me to force you?
Not at all possible.
If I try to attempt to influence you, maybe you will consider, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that also you will only consider. You have a scope for rejecting my influence, isn't it?
Correct.
Mm.
Why? Because it is your desire to reject my influence, correct? Because you preferred not to allow me to influence you. Correct? Is your desire and preference synonymous? Why? Because you are not preferring or desiring, because you are not interested in allowing me to influence you, correct? You should be interested on it. Unless you are interested, can I come and force a change in you? I can't. Neither can I influence. You put me in my place. There you are, you be there. Don't try to influence me. Correct? That means you are not interested to even respect my influence. Correct? These are all your innate preferences, isn't it? Now, worrying about a transformation in personality in an adaptable range is always backed up by another innate spousemate of your personality, which is interest. Without analyzing your interest, worrying about the change in personality is baseless. If you're interested to change, then for the requirement, you will change because you're adaptable. And after that requirement, interest is satisfied, You come back to your originality. That is your individual identity, correct? Can anybody actually prevent you from that? Deprive you from that? That is human right, correct?
Yeah.
So personality doesn't change by itself. It is actually correlated with the interest. And if there is an interest, then the personality will change while it is in an adaptable range. Otherwise, it doesn't respect. If somebody is extrovert by 80%, introvert by 20%, somebody is coming and forcing you, that is a stress to you. You're exhibiting a discomfort there. You're not comfortable there. Continuing there is a pain every day and day out. You'll be looking for a nice opportunity to remove yourself from there. Because your nature also doesn't permit. To compromise your nature, your interest is also not available. If your interest is available, in order to accommodate your own interest, you give a marginal transformation for that interest requirement and come back to your originality. This is human science. Clear?
Yep.
Handling objections with client when they resist about the personality is adaptable to change. Will you be able to handle it? Yes?
No, come again?
When a parent is going to say that personality is adaptable to change. In that case, this objection, will you be able to handle? You know, personality by itself doesn't change.
Yes.
There is a stimulating factor which is called your career interest. Without evaluating and analyzing your career interest, can we conclude a decision for which career to go?
No.
Clear to all?
Yep.
Yep.
So what is the improvement or validation given by by Edu Milestone is introducing a quantitative method of approach and finding which are adaptable. See, for example, if you take somebody extrovert dominant, we recommend them to business, correct? Business management, marketing, sales. Introvert, we are referring them to computer engineers, right? Or engineers, right? Today, there is a modern new age career last 4 or 5 years, which is called business analyst, which is technology based profile, correct? The computer science engineers, when they are high level introvert, they choose to become a programmer or a developer or into testing, correct? But the business analysts are those who are a middle person between the buyer as an end user and also the development team, DevOps. The buyer does not understand the development team's language, either the development team does not understand the buyer's language. It requires a middle person to modulate between the both and moderate between the both. And they should have had a technical study who bridges an introvert and an extrovert mixed behavior. Clear? Now,
Right.
this adaptability is not limited with only extrovert and introvert. It applies for sensing and intuiting, thinking and feeling, and judging and perceiving. Clear? Where ambiverts are placed, where a particular trait which is highly dominant is placed, we need to know to differentiate. Clear?
Yep.
What a career demands is a fixed variable. But what the candidate has, it's actually a variable, correct? Variable component. So we have to blend by finding correlation between the both. Why? Because you have to inform them. If they are successful, why they are successful. If they are going to be struggling, why they are going to be struggling. Or if they are struggling, you give them the reason for why they are struggling. Clear? This is when you are attempting to find a suitability. Is time available? We'll connect tomorrow. We'll have a quiz tomorrow to begin with. All right?
Sure.
I hope the session was interesting today.
very much.
All right. Today I will share the link of my tech platform. Yesterday I missed it. Today I'll just in few minutes share it. All of you attempt your psychometric assessment and give your input what you feel for that question. Don't get influenced. Okay, this question seems to be relevant to introvert or extrovert. Don't worry about it. Finally, how to interpret a report, I would have educated. Now give it as a common person, your own input.
Sure, sure.
You know, in the group, I'll activate it.
Okay.
Radha, you are putting in the WhatsApp group, right? The link.
I'll just do it. I'm just going to do it.
Right. Done.
Yeah, Neeraj?
No, done. That's the question. That's what I was asking.
Great. I'm just doing it. Okay.
Sure.
I hope you like the training today.
Yes.
Definitely. Although I know a lot of things about MBTI, this was a new perspective.
Yeah.
No, I think today what my learning was the way we used to you are adapted to a certain way of looking at things, right? During the course of your engagements, your job, and everything, and your life, you tend to look things by your perspective, and you try to mold it around that only. But
True.
today's session has opened eyes for me in terms where some things are not that. Even the definitions of few things are wrong in your mind, or it's not wrong. Maybe you have
Right. It is
molded it
something
to
called
your
a
own understanding.
disconnect. That's all. It is not wrong. Nobody is wrong. Okay. There is
Yes.
something which actually the environment has told us.
Yes,
Right.
I think we have molded the definitions as per our understandings.
Correct.
That's how we look at things.
Correct.
But
That's what
in reality, these things are not like that. So
Correct.
you need to be very much factual in things while you look at things and put a fact to it, that how it is and how it is looking now and what it should be taken as.
Correct. See, the clarity on the concept helps you in attaching it to the work nature.
Yes.
Two things required. One is the clarity of the concept, first place. Okay, that is actually a decluttering might be required on approaching a particular concept. Once that is clear, another side of the track is your work nature. Not everybody can be. See, if you know all the work nature, then why are you coming and enrolling for this program? You want to learn, correct? So whatever you know first, you are ensuring whether it is correctly known or you are doing a slight modification on it. That's right.
Yes.
And then getting to know about other careers will actually come very easy. The learning approach is that. We should not get into a complex area when we are wanting to learn. We'll have to take baby steps. First, whatever I know, whether it is correct or not, how far it is correct, we'll ensure. Then your venture in knowing everything, I'll tell you, each one of you will be a walking encyclopedia. I assure you on that. Okay. Good. Nice. Khalid,
Right.
fine.
Yes.
Clear?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah,
What
but I am going more confused about my personality.
Don't confuse now, because now you should not judge yourself. First attempt taking the assessment. See your report and gradually observe in each and every dimension what I am actually referring as the signs attached to it. Then I will also teach you how to find correlation between all the dimensions. Then only you have to be, wondering about doing the analysis. Till then, don't do analysis.
Sure.
While learning, observe. And there'll come a time when you have to do an analysis, I will tell you. Okay?
Okay. Actually, I am just thinking about judging and perceiving. As now I am very organized, all the things on the time, I have the timetable, sleeping and waking. But all the things I am doing because I want to be free by this organizing.
Don't judge like this immediately yourself and conclude you to this. This is what I was requesting Namrata also. Okay. Don't think about yourself that I must be this, I must be that. That's an assumption.
Yeah.
To prove what you are, take an assessment. And then get to know who you are and then try to justify.
No,
Okay.
ma'am, I'm not judging myself, but maybe मुझे लगता है कि there's something different in me. I'm so much special. I am multitasker. I am
Knowing about you and your
versatile personality. I'm
is
thinking
But
not
I think
wrong.
it's too early. It's too early.
possible in
Right.
a one
Too
girl.
early. That is what.
It's too early. We should wait
Because
for.
mostly parents think that their child is so and so. But actually it will be different. That's what Neeraj is going to voice out.
I'm agreed. It was my daddy who always think about me like this. So
You ask Neeraj, he will talk about this only. I was thinking all
Yeah.
along, my son is this, daughter is this.
Really new idea, new plan. Like that.
yeah, it's okay. Ma'am.
And tomorrow I'll tell you, when you're looking at interest, please, I'm telling you, I'm requesting you, follow your notes, take notes. And if you have not taken notes, please listen to recording before you resume tomorrow.
All right.
Okay, there'll be a quiz time. And once we have finished with personality and it's quiz time, I will move to interest. I won't touch upon personality, I'll give only activities. Okay, and once interest comes and two-dimensional comes, you'll find personality is eroded. Okay, have a careful watch about me because I'm a tough master.
I know, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
You are very.
What you need to all of you do is begin with an activity. Before we have a proper quiz tomorrow, in your own reasoning, since Neeraj raised this out, I'd like to actually, address his, insight. Okay. Each of you think of some 5 careers that comes to your mind.
Mhm.
And ensure that you are very clear about the work nature of those 5 careers. You may get even 15, 20 careers coming to your mind. Whichever you're clear of work nature. Right? Identify a personality type compatible for it. And put it as a chat in your WhatsApp group. Got the activity, all of you?
Yeah.
Each of you just test out what you have got, whether it is right or not. Develop a discussion forum. Each of you ensure and set for yourselves at least 5 I am going to post.
Hmm.
To bring about the results of 5, you might have to brainstorm 15, 20. And pick 5 which are the careers where you're sure about the work nature. And put it
Right.
as a chart in the group. And if you're right, I'm going to say it is right. If it is incorrect, which element is incorrect, how you can correct it also will be our part of discussion tomorrow, but I'll post what it is. I'll respond. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
No, I know there is one thing which is inevitable. Somebody who is walking from left to right, right to left, you will start evaluating whether this person is going to be introvert or extrovert, sensing or intuitive.
Mm.
It is inevitable. I'm sure Namrata will do it on her husband. She has gone away, right? She will try asking her husband, are you an introvert or extrovert? Right? And even Neeraj will be definitely experimenting this on his child. Correct?
I would
And-
be experimenting it on myself only. If I had no chance, I'll be asking my wife for that.
Because we ourselves are lab rats for us, correct?
Yes, we are the lab rats, and moreover, Radha, I think you will not agree to this because you are a wife yourself. But please understand, husbands have an obligation, so that's how it is.
That's fine. No problem.
It's okay. It's okay.
Everything is fair and lovely.
Understand. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right.
All
So
right.
I think
All right.
it's been a great session today. We will meet tomorrow at 10:30.
And then you continue telling this tomorrow also. Every day you will actually say the same statement.
Sure.
Keep your fingers crossed for knowing interest. If personality is so much, imagine about how interest should be.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure,
Bye.
sure. Bye. Take care, everybody.
Sure. Thank you.